Good evening and welcome into another edition of Region Sports Football. I'm Jared Schlinsky. You are locked into Game Night in the Region online at facebook.com/Region Sports and at regionsports.com. Tonight, we're at Viking Field for the second straight week. And this week, it's the number one team in the region, the undefeated 5-0 Crown Point Bulldogs on the road against the 4-1 Valparaiso Vikings. They come in fifth in the region, Crown Point number one, and they are going for the county seat trophy. Last season, Valpo took the county seat trophy in Crown Point, and Crown Point not only looking to extend their undefeated winning streak to 6, but looking to get that trophy back, Jay. Again, Jared Schlinsky, Jay Simmons, maybe the game of the week here in the region, but nonetheless, a huge game for both teams.
Yes, it is, and you've got two teams that are playing extremely well. Like you said, Crown Point 5-0, Valparaiso 4-1, losing only their first game, the Penn, 35-6, and ever since then they have not looked back. And we saw a great game last week against Chesterton. The Valparaiso Vikings did a great job just holding on because it seemed like Chesterton Trojans came out and gave them everything they had. I think Valparaiso was looking past that game for tonight, so we'll see what's going to happen tonight.
Indeed. And you know what? Let's stay with it and talk about this Valparaiso Vikings team. Came out with the win last week, 19-13, a very ground-efficient game, ran the ball for over 300 yards, and despite a couple of special teams issues, they were able to hold on for a win. The reality, though, is those mistakes are not going to be able to work. You're not going to be able to win tonight if you could do that against a team like Crown Point.
Yes, you definitely. You've got to make sure you play. Valparaiso has to play pretty much a perfect game tonight. Very few mistakes, very few special team mistakes, very few because we saw a lot of missed extra points last week, and there was very little win like there is today.
And as much as the defense gets the notoriety, don't be fooled. This Crown Point Bulldogs offense can put up some points. They have scored 40 points in 3 games this season and 35 in 4 of 5. This is an efficient offense that can beat you through the air and on the ground. And for Valparaiso, a team that struggled at times last week defensively, they're going to have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, what Valpo's going to have to do tonight is they're going to have to force some turnovers, get them in some third and uncomfortable situations, and try. And I think Valparaiso is going to have to sell out a little bit and bring that extra man up into the box to try and sneak a big play defensively.
Indeed. We'll talk more about our Castle Subaru keys to the game when we return. You're watching Game Night in the Region on Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Did you know?
Wow, they'll prepare fresh fish while you wait.
Did you know?
They make over 40,000 donuts from scratch every week?
Did you know?
They offer 23 different deli platters for your party?
Did you know?
They have freshly chopped fajita mix ready to cook.
Did you know?
They have the best fried chicken in the area?
Did you know?
They offer our signature curbside service 14 hours a day.
Strack and Van Til. Now you know.
Hanger Insurance Group in Crown Point is passionate about providing a premier service insurance agency featuring customized coverage and meaningful relationships. They understand that you've built a life and they want to help you protect it. From home to life insurance, they offer a wide variety of coverage to fit your needs. From choosing a plan to filing claims, Hanger Insurance Group agents are ready to help. Stop in for a quote at 950 South Court Street in Crown Point or visit them online at hangerinsurancegroup.com. Protect what you love.
You're watching Region Sports Network coverage of high school football on the internet at regionsports.com and online at facebook.com/Region Sports. Jared Schlinsky alongside Jay Simmons. The Crown Point Bulldogs won the toss. They deferred, and Valparaiso in that high-powered ground attack will get a chance to strike first here at home in front of all these fans for the county seat trophy.
Yeah, it's going to be. Looks like it might be Berta, tailback, the sophomore, did a great job last week. Thomas Berta on the season, 31 carries, 139 yards. Did a great job last week carrying the load because I think Travis Davis may be out tonight. We're going to see if he's going to be able to play. We heard something about him being on crutches earlier in the week.
Cody Fiscal officially gets us underway, and it is into the end zone for a touchback. Crown Point will send out its defense, Valparaiso with its offense. It's now time for our keys to the game. Tonight's keys sponsored to you by Castle Subaru. Stop in and get your keys to a new castle. A Castle Subaru, that is. Jay, what are the keys to tonight's
Okay, we're going to
games?
go with Valparaiso. Since Valparaiso's on offense, Valparaiso's keys offensively is going to try and not be predictable with the running game. They got to spice in that pass game just enough to keep them off balance. Defensively, for Crown Point, force Valpo in the third and long situations. Make them become predictable.
Justin Clark gives to Thomas Berta. You talked about him in the pregame, 139 yards on the year. Had 104 last week. This time doesn't get a whole lot. Let's start with our starters, but first, check out the Castle inventory of new and used vehicles at castlesubaru.com. On the offensive line from left to right, it's Matt Hofer, Caleb Sharp, DeAndre Price, Charlie Hammond, and Isaac Shutima. The quarterback, Justin Clark, the starting running back, Thomas Berta, the tight end, Ben Rickard, and the receivers, Julian Stokes and Daryl Davis. Clark to pass finds his man in Rocco Michichi. Right around the 30, Michichi gives Valpo third and short, and that was something we didn't see a whole lot of last week.
No, we didn't. And you know what? The quarterback right there had plenty of time to step into his throw, get a good release, float the ball over the linebacker, and drop it into Michichi, who we talked about, one of the best names in high school football in the area.
Brings up third down and 1, and Valpo to the gun. Berta taking over for Travis Davis, who's out. It goes to Berta, up the middle, finds a hole, fights off a couple of tackles, and past the 40, has the first down and then some, a pickup of 12 yards, and just like that, Valpo moving forward towards Crown Point territory. Starting defense for Crown Point on the D-line, it's Paul Clark, Colt Emanuelson, and David Miller. They go with 5 linebackers, Seamus Molaski, Bryant Burt, Travis Ryder, Will Clark, and Drew Carell. And in the secondary, Griffin Van Tyke, Larry Ellison, and Landon Delich. Those are tonight's starters. 3 plays, 1 first down, and Valparaiso on their own 41. Up the gut it goes to James Clardy, and Clardy to about the 45, gets a good pickup on first down.
Yeah, right now Valparaiso offensive line is getting a good push. That's one of the things when you have 5 linebackers, you're a little bit susceptible to offensive lines that are able to get up into that second level, and right now Valparaiso is doing a great job.
Pickup of 3 sets up second down and 7. Berta again, another strong run, fights off a couple of tackles all the way past midfield before being brought down by Paul Clark. And Berta, for a backup, is pretty darn good.
Yes, he is, and he's really elusive. Once he gets into that hole, he's very elusive. Berta, only a sophomore out there starting for the Vikings, does a great job. He's got a great knack to find that hole and let the play develop in front of him.
Play number 6 of the drive from the Crown Point 47. Man in motion. Instead, it's Berta up the middle, and Berta gets a couple there before being stopped by Larry Ellison.
Yeah, and Will Clark, the linebacker, number 1, coming in. That offensive line, if you look at it, it's 260, 230, 305 by the center, 280, 275. So those guys are establishing a good push forward. Looks like they're out there driving a sled.
Berta checks out, and we have a new back in on first down. It goes to the new back. And the new...
It's a fumble.
Oh, wow. It is.
Bad exchange between the quarterback and number 21 for the Valparaiso Vikings.
Jacob Clardy and Justin Clark not on the same page. Looked like maybe a read option gone wrong, and a huge turnover on the opening series for Valpo.
Yeah, Clark right there looked like he was going to hand it off, and Clardy was already gone, and the ball just dropped to the turf. Huge mistake for the Vikings.
Let's see if Crown Point can take advantage with 8:49 to go here in quarter number 1. Crown Point on their own 44. Give up the middle is stuffed pretty quickly. J.J. Johnson, the starting quarterback, is one of the better dual threat quarterbacks in all of the region. His running back is Tommy Gudgano, along with Seamus Molaski and Landon Delich and Nick Soley at receivers. The line from left to right, Jackson Russ, Logan Poporinsky, Lorenzo Pintado, Jeff Michade, and Aiden Durig. We'll get you the Valpo starters after this play. 2nd and 7. Johnson keeps and goes nowhere. A good stuff up front by defensive lineman Zach Brown, along with Tanner Young on that defensive line. The other two DNs, Connor McCall and Tyler Young. The 4 linebackers, Peter Crossan, Jonah Kyle, Ty Veen, and Sam Ampliotis. The secondary, Tyler Verschure, Tyler Morris, who had 2 picks last week, and TJ Watkins. Brings up 3rd down and 6. Johnson to pass. Finds his tight end, Molaski, at the Valpo 43. And a good little pitch and catch between quarterback and tight end on 3rd down.
Yeah, right there. Just a nice job by the tight end just to settle down right in that area. Molaski just felt that once he got down to the pass, about a yard past the 1st down marker, turned around, settled, let the linebackers clear out. Little play action drew those linebackers up, and he did a great job to settle in there. J.J. Johnson did a nice job just getting it right to him.
Elijah Teowan was the starter week 2 against Andrean. Came into today's game with nearly 400 yards. He's not out there right now. Man in motion. Back to Gudgano, and Gudgano maybe gets a couple. This defensive line forced havoc last week against Chesterton and Tyler Young. Able to do it there on 1st down.
Yeah, Valparaiso's defensive line is really making that offensive line of Crown Point really work to get a good push up front. I think Crown Point's going to have to pass the ball a little bit more against this defensive front that they have not seen this good all season.
One of their go-to vertical threats is Ray Santiago. Had a touchdown against Andrean back in week 2. Can really go get it. They look for him there. Now they are going to take a shot for him, and late flag comes in. It looks like this might be defensive pass interference.
Wow, and J.J. Johnson got a lick put on him right as he was releasing the ball. The defensive back right there extended his hands out there, so it looked like it was a defensive holding or pass interference. He did not let the wide receiver get out of his stance or out of right at about the 10-yard marker, just extended his hands right on him. It was an easy call.
Be a 15-yard penalty and another 1st down for Crown Point. This is a team that predominantly likes to run the ball. Came in running 265 yards per game, but a team that maybe necessarily hasn't had to throw that much comes out throwing early on. They look okay.
Yeah, and it's just because of the way the defensive line of Valparaiso is playing. Look at Johnson go for a touch. It could be a touchdown. Nice job of faking in the backfield. Johnson just eludes a couple defensive linemen and makes a big play right there. As you can see, Johnson makes the play fake, bounces it outside, then cuts back to the inside and accelerates into the end zone. Great job of reading that defensive end to the outside. He cut inside of his block and did a great job. Great vision by Johnson going down the field.
Excellent job keeping on the read option, and give credit to the Crown Point offense. They take advantage of the Valpo fumble, go a short distance, covering just under 60 yards, and they get 6. Make it 7. 7-0 our score after 6 minutes of play here in quarter number 1. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
The Friday night forecast is brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's forecast currently 58 degrees, cloudy skies, lights in full effect here at Viking Field. 7-0 our score if you are just tuning in. Valpo began with the ball fumbled on their 7th play of scrimmage inside Crown Point territory. What do the Bulldogs do? They take advantage of the short field score on 7 plays and quickly a 7-0 lead for the top-ranked Crown Point Bulldogs.
Yeah, J.J. Johnson just did a great job. A little read option to the outside, to the short side of the field. Cut inside his tight end's block and 25-yard scamper for the touchdown.
Cody Fiskell able to get a touchback on his previous kick. That was the opening kickoff. This one is going to be another one. Wow, he might have the strongest right leg in the region. And Valpo will go back to work from their own 25. Valpo had something going offensively prior to the fumble, just a little mix-up there on the option between Justin Clark and Jacob Clardy.
Well, you know what? That's one of the keys, the Castle Subaru keys to the game is what I said is they've got to mix it up, and they were doing a good job throwing on early downs, running and getting some big chunks of yards. If they just come back to what they did in that first drive. Don't be rattled by the touchdown here. Just stay within themselves. They'll be fine.
Crown Point had a tough time tackling Thomas Berta early on, and here he is on first down, scampering forward between his guard and center to the 25 for a pickup of 5.
Yeah, nice job at the offensive line by the Vikings right there. Coming around, getting a nice opening, and if that linebacker didn't come up and make that shoestring tackle, Berta might still be running.
Indeed, indeed. And don't forget, this kid, Thomas Berta, just a sophomore, was the backup running back, Travis Davis, who got hurt last week, has not played yet. Back to Berta, and he cannot fight off that tackle.
And we see a flag come flying out.
Tackle made by Seamus Molaski, the outside linebacker. Let's see what the call is.
I'm going to have to go with a holding call, but we'll see. Officials discussing it right now. Yep, usually that's what happens on a running play.
So that will set up, instead of 3rd and 4, it'll bring up 2nd and 15. George Slinsky alongside Jay Simmons. Tonight's game, playing for the county seat trophy. Valpo last year won it in Crown Point. Crown Point looking to improve to 6-0 and get the trophy back. You know they've got a lot to play for tonight.
Yes, they do. Both teams do, and you want to keep that unblemished record going for Crown Point and Valparaiso, the same thing, but in conference, both teams right now battling for number 1 spot in the conference.
We're a little bit more than halfway through the first quarter. Both teams have had the ball once. This is Valpo's second offensive possession, and they've been able to move the ball, but that fumble on their first drive really hurt them. Clark brings the man in motion. He keeps on the option, and not a whole lot there. Back to the original line of scrimmage. And give credit to this Crown Point team. They have done a great job filling their run gap assignments.
Yeah, nice job right there by the quarterback. Did a nice job reading it, and then he saw there was nothing there to pitch to, so he kept it and turned up and tried to get what he could as best he could. It just, because if he'd have pitched it, it looked like there was a couple Crown Point Bulldogs waiting for that running back to get the ball, so he did a nice job getting what he could.
Seamus Molaski again on the stop. We've called his name a lot. Clark back to pass, steps up in the pocket, gets drilled as he fires a beauty down the sideline and caught right around midfield. You talk about laying it out there perfectly. There it was to Scotty Bradney.
Yeah, Scotty Bradney came a little bit late. He had the 2 outside receivers run in routes, and what they did is they cleared out that zone to the wide side of the field, and then he came out on a wheel pattern and just turned up the sidelines, had his defensive man beat pretty badly, and somebody from over the top had to come over and make that tackle.
Make no mistake about it, Justin Clark took a good lick in there too.
Yes, he did.
Good job hanging in the pocket. Man in motion. They give it to him on the jet sweep. This is Bradney again, and Bradney into Crown Point territory. And, well, you make a catch the previous play. Why not go back to him here?
Yeah, Bradney right there ran about 70 yards to pick up about 4 or 5 yards right there. He had to run all the way across the field, which is 53 yards, I think, all the way from one side to the other, and then turned it upfield. So he ran like just about under 65 yards.
This Crown Point team is getting into it. The Vikings down 7-0, playing the undefeated Crown Point Bulldogs. Motion man. They fake it to him. Wilson, far sideline, a little bit too far out of the reach of Machichi. Nice coverage on the outside by Landon Delich, and it's going to set up third down.
Well, that play was well covered by the defense. He just did what he best could. Just got rid of it, threw it away, come back to fight another down. Don't try and thread the needle on that one and get that ball picked off. If that defensive back catches that ball, it'd be 6 points. The deep threat, the outside receiver running a streak was covered well. The out route was covered well, so just throw it away.
Have yet to seen Crown Point blitz. You blitz here on 3rd and 4?
I think you got to send a couple.
Let's see. They've got 8 lined up in the box. They crowd the line of scrimmage. Berta somehow muscles forward, and he's really close. I don't know if he got it. I think he might be short. And the man at the bottom of the pile was Larry Ellison with the stop.
It looks like the Vikings are going to go for it here on 4th and 1. They're just going up to the line.
Yeah, I don't know if you have to, but if you can get it, it's big, that's for sure.
Yes, it is.
Under 4 minutes. Is this a bluff, or are they going for it?
And there's
late
a flag.
I think Crown Point might have jumped.
Yes, it did. And it looked like the left.
Defensive end, Paul Clark.
Yes.
You think they were actually going to snap that football?
I do not think so. I think if they'd have milked it down to about 2 seconds left on the play clock, called a timeout, and then set up for a play.
Either way, it's going to move the sticks for Valpo. They are at the Crown Point 39. You take a shot here, maybe?
You know, this is a nice time for a little play action. You got man coverage to the outside. Go for it.
Let's see what they do. Instead, it goes to Berta, and Berta doesn't have a whole lot to work with there. This defensive line for Crown Point, very stout, especially on 1st down.
Yeah, and the hard part for the Vikings offensively is trying to figure out who they're blocking. They got 3 down linemen, but they've got 5 linebackers that are moving all over the place, blitzing from all kinds of different angles. So it is really tough for the offensive line to figure out who they're blocking.
Game clock under 3 minutes. Valpo on their second offensive series finds themselves down 7-0. Man in motion. Berta, big burst. And he has the first down to the 30. They've had a nice job today sealing the middle.
Yeah, they did a nice job. And Berta did a nice job letting the play develop. The blocking, he's going to be about a half a yard short. But Berta did a nice job staying right inside those offensive linemen's block. There was a couple Crown Point Bulldogs to the outside, but he cut inside of them, did a great job.
You're right. They are going to mark him short, less than a yard. 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers. They sell out, and he did not get it.
Yeah, number 33 for the Bulldogs came up, made the tackle.
Cody Goodwin, an all-state wrestler, also will do some returns, makes the stop. And I think you got to go for it here.
There's no sense in trying to, and especially as much as their field goal team struggled last week, I would not put them on the field.
What do you draw up here if you're Bill Marshall, head coach? You see him on the sideline doing the hand signal.
Yeah, you know what? I'd come back to that that second down play where he got about 5 or 6 yards, a little counter off to the left side.
Play number 10 of the drive, Rocco Machichi, the motion man. Up the gut, Berta doesn't have it.
Not even close.
Crown Point stuffs it.
That was number 1. Will Clark just blitzed right in the middle over the center and just came in and met him for another yard loss. I thought if they would have ran to the outside right there, they would have had something.
Yeah, I think maybe if Clark would have kept, I don't know if it was a read play or not, but either way, it looked like there was something on the outside. But a long drive for Valpo goes for none. A 5-minute drive. They can move the ball. Now the question is, can they get points?
That's right, yeah. And now Valpo's defense has got to step up to the plate. They cannot allow a score here. Their defensive line did a great job, all except for one play when he scored.
Full house backfield. Johnson keeps on the option. He had a touchdown in the team's opening series and muscles forward for a couple on 1st down.
Yeah, a little crossbuck right there. They had one man in motion. dive fake. Another man came across his face, and then he kept the ball. Got a nice gain on first down, about 2 or 3 yards.
These are the two best teams in the region, you think?
I'm going to have to go with you. I'm going to have to agree with that statement. This is going to be a great game tonight. And I think if Valparaiso defensive line can establish themselves and get control of that line of scrimmage, it's going to be a long night for the Bulldogs.
Crown Point, the team in red and white, the number 1 team in the region rankings. Off tackle run for Goodgogno does not go anywhere. An excellent tackle on the outside by Sam Ampliotis. Number 5, the Valpo Vikings. They were almost upset last week by Chesterton, but nonetheless, they held on for a win.
Yeah, Valparaiso, I think it was a look-by game for Valparaiso. They were looking to this week and just were happy to come out of that game with a victory because Chesterton had the ball with about 2 minutes left about midfield and was going in for possibly the game-winning score, and then Chesterton threw an interception.
Game clock is at 20 seconds. The play clock is at 6. Crown Point to throw, and over the head of the tight end, Seamus Molaski. We've seen J.J. Johnson complete one pass, and then they drew pass interference. Could not hook up with the tight end here on third down.
Well, the free safety came over the top and was right on top of him. Great coverage right there, even though it was a little play action. The first time they ran that same play, the tight end was wide open. This time, well covered by the free safety.
And no one is back to return for Valpo until now. The punt is up. It's a pretty good one, and fair caught inside the 30. And with 7 seconds, there should be at least one more play before the end of the quarter. Pretty good game so far. Both teams able to move the football, but the difference, the fumble by Valpo and Crown Point able to take advantage with a touchdown.
Yeah, Justin Clark's got to make sure he secures the ball, secures the handoffs. Valpo's getting a little bit of a rhythm offensively. They just got to stay with it. It seems like they go too much inside. I think they've got to bounce the ball outside. They've been successful running off tackle plays, but they just keep wanting to go in between the tackles. I think they got to stay to the outside.
We've seen Justin Clark throw the ball a little bit. Rolls out to his left and somehow fights off that tackle there. Clark maybe back to the original line of scrimmage. Was hit by a fellow Clark in Paul Clark, and that should do it for the end of quarter number 1. We'll take a timeout here on Region Sports Network. When we return, we'll be ready for second quarter action. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
A sudden injury or illness can happen anytime. When it does, feel better fast. Urgent care at Pinnacle Hospital. We have a network of highly qualified physicians, and your wait is minutes, not hours. We offer on-site laboratory and radiology services. We accept most insurance, Medicare, and Medicaid, plus the biggest cash pay discount in Northwest Indiana. We're recognized by Press Ganey in the top 3% in the country for customer satisfaction. Feeling better fast. Urgent care at Pinnacle Hospital.
Attention homeowners, ready to start your next project? Need to pay off your debt? Refinance your home? Unlock the value of your home with a Centier Bank no-fee home equity loan or home equity line of credit. Stop by a local Centier branch today or visit us on the web at centier.com/home equity. Terms and conditions subject to change without notice, subject to credit approval. Centier Bank, NMLS number 408076, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
This broadcast is a production of the Region Sports Network. Any other use, duplication, reproduction, or retransmission of the accounts and descriptions of this contest without the express written consent of the Region Sports Network is strictly prohibited. Second down and 10. We are ready to begin the second quarter at the Valpo 28. Jared Schlensky alongside Jay Simmons. Special thanks to our producer, Nick Russ, and our cameraman, Milton Johnson. Justin Clark airs it out towards the far sideline, and what a catch! Little pitch and catch there between Clark and Scotty Bradney, and Bradney with his second catch today.
What a great catch. Clark just airs it out, and Bradney extends his arms all the way out, makes a great catch. This could be one of our IKORCC plays of the game. Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio Regional Council of Carpenters. What a great play right there by the Vikings. Get them going.
Nearly over 40 yards. Clark keeps on the option. He has room to the 15 and barrels his way forward close to the 10. Back-to-back first downs. We talked about it earlier. The team that has the most success through the air may very well win the game, and that pass just set up that huge run.
Yeah, Valpo coming out explosive on the last two plays, opening up the second quarter here. Awfully exciting by the Vikings.
Just 3 plays so far in this drive, and they have covered 60 yards. Quarter number 2, Valpo down 7-0, looking to tie it up. Crown Point looking to stand tall. It goes to Thomas Berta, the sophomore, inside the 10 to about the 8 with a good pickup on first down. And teams have not been able to do this all that much against Crown Point. The question now is, can you punch it in?
That's right, and Valparaiso did a great job. Berta just got behind his left tackle, Matt Hoffer, right there, and just fouled the truck down the road. Got a big gain on first down. It's going to be second down and about 5 at the 9-yard line.
Bottom of your screen is Scotty Bradney. He's got 2 passes today. Instead, they go the other way. Clark on the option does not get anything. And this is going to bring up third down. Cody Goodwin, again, there for the stop.
Yeah. Valparaiso, now this is where they struggle a little bit on third and fourth down in short situations so far in the game. It's early, but they've been struggling at these distances. They've got to bounce it to the outside. I think that's where they've been having their success.
We do see the tight end. I haven't seen a whole lot of Keegan Begley in there. Let's see if he goes out for a pass. Instead, Clark on the option. He has the first down. The question is, does he have the end zone? He does. Paul Clark from 7 yards out. And we are within a point of a tie ball game.
What did I tell you? Valparaiso goes to the outside. They come up with the big play.
We're going to show it to you here.
They come up to the line of scrimmage. Quarterback looking both ways, sees what's going on. Gets a snap right there, does a little play fake, sucks in that defensive end, and he just turns it up and pushes it through for a touchdown. There was a couple Crown Point Bulldogs, but they were standing in the end zone, so it did not matter. Clark wanted it.
Valpo had some issues last week with the extra point in the field goal. They get the extra point here without a problem. We're tied 7-7, just under 10 minutes remain here in the first half. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Who did he throw to? Clark to?
Justin Clark finds his go-to receiver, Scotty Bradney, for the second time today. This one, a 40-yard pass set up the 7-yard touchdown run for Clark, and we're tied up at 7. Jared Schlinsky alongside Jay Simmons at Viking Field. The number 1 Crown Point Bulldogs, they've got themselves a test tonight, tied with the number 5 Valpo Vikings. And the kickoff into the end zone will set up a touchback, and Crown Point's offense back to work, will go to work from their own 20.
Yes.
What a drive. What a statement by Valpo. 64 yards on that drive. 6 plays before finding the end zone. Now the question is, can they get another stop? They had a 3-and-out defensively on their previous series.
Yeah, and that drive came courtesy of a long pass and then a long run by Clark. So Clark's sort of carrying this team right now. He's up for Crowell's Lantern Man Superhero of the game. Now let's see if the Valparaiso defense can step up like the offense has so far in this quarter.
Clark completed just 2 passes last week. He's already got that here, and we're not even done with the first half. Good Gagno on first down, a strong run, very close to the first down marker. Is going to bring up second and short. We've seen a lot of J.J. Johnson early on. Let's see now if some of the other guys get involved in this running game.
Yeah, and I think Crown Point doesn't want to become predictable offensively. So, I'm thinking right here, 2nd down and 2, maybe the little play action, throw the ball down the field a little bit.
Crown Point does not really throw the ball all that much.
No.
They do average just over 100 yards a game through the air, and the go-to guy is Ray Santiago. He's at the bottom of your screen. Instead, they go the other way and able to get the first down and then some is Landon Delich, who we'll also see on defense. And, well, a little pitch and catch there, moves the sticks.
Yeah, just like I said, a little play action, dive fake, a simple out route by Delich. And you notice, did you see Delich when he went up and got that ball? His arms were extended all the way out. Did a great job corralling that ball with his hands.
Clock stops following Delich stepping out of bounds. Valpo with 3 down linemen, make it 4 with 3 in the box, expecting run. Quarterback draw, and it is stuffed. Great job reading the play there, and it was Zach Brown, the senior defensive tackle who had 3 tackles last week.
Yeah, what a great job. Zach Brown got through the offensive line. The draw play was being set up. He sat back in the pass like he was going to pass J.J. Johnson, sat back there, looked for a second, and then Brown just ate him alive.
Elijah Teowan was the starter to begin the season. He is out. And the sophomore Tommy Goodgagno, who has been the backup all season, gets the start tonight. Has had a couple of big runs so far early on. Let's see if they go to him here. 2nd down and 13. Play action over the middle. Caught and off to the races is our man Bodie Barant. And Barant inside the Valpo 40 out to the 38. Gets about 30.
Oh, I don't understand the coverage out there. There was nobody on him. The outside receiver ran a streak pattern, cleared out both of the defensive backs, and nobody took the slot receiver. He was wide open. It's got to be a miscommunication defensive back-wise.
And how about this formation? We've got 8 on the line of scrimmage, a fullback 2 in the pistol. Goodgagno, a huge hole, which ends up closing up pretty fast. Pretty predictable right there either way. A good pickup on 1st down.
Yeah, there was a big hole there, and all of a sudden, as soon as the defensive end forced him back to the middle and the linebacker stepped up and made a tackle, looks like they got a gain of about 2 or 3 on the play.
Seeing some good play-action passes today. I was not anticipating that.
Well, you know what? Both of these two teams are so run-heavy that once you establish a couple good plays running, if you do some play action, you're going to get those linebackers stepping up, and there's going to be zones open behind them.
Let's see if Crown Point goes back to the air here. J.J. Johnson has already completed 3 passes today. He's only attempted 4 total. Johnson looked to pass for a second, escapes trouble, and niffs his way forward to the 35. He turned nothing into something there, but brought down at the last second by Zach Brown.
And Valparaiso sold out on the offensive left side. They blitzed 2 linebackers from that side, got in there, and J.J. Johnson was quick enough, or realized it soon enough, was able to duck under the pass rush and at least get back to the line of scrimmage.
So we've seen 2 passes on this series. Both have gone for completions. You go to the air here on 3rd and 7?
You know what? If I'm Crown Point right here, I think I run it, get half the distance, and then go for it on 4th down. Little something with J.J. Johnson running the ball.
Ray Santiago, the bottom of your screen. Instead, they go the other way. Corner ball, unable to be hauled in. He created that separation, did Delich on the corner route, and just couldn't hook up with J.J. Johnson.
Well, it looked like J.J. Johnson looked like it was a wrong shoulder fade, or either that or he was anticipating his receiver to fade more to the outside because he threw it right on the sideline, and the receiver ran more straight up the field than he had anticipated.
Pretty good coverage by Chase Schroeder. And this is going to bring up 4th down.
See, that's why I thought maybe Crown Point would run the ball there, get about 3 or 4 yards, and now all of a sudden you have 4th and 3 or 4. Now you got 4th and 7 or 8, and it looks like they're going to call a timeout.
We'll keep it here. First timeout used by either team. Jared Schlinsky joined by Jay Simmons. 6:30 to go here in the half, tied up at 7. Craig Buzia, obviously this is not his first rodeo. Has coached in Illinois, has coached in Indiana, has faced plenty of situations like this. You think he's going for it here?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, there's no advantage in punting the ball here. And and not too many high school kickers are going to be able to hit a 52-yard field goal. So he's definitely going to be going for it, and that's why I thought on third down they would run the ball, get it 3 or 4 yards there, make it 4th and 3 or 4, and then go for it on fourth down. A little bit 4th down and 4 would be a little bit more manageable, and 4th down and 7. Now you're in something that's going to be predictable, some type of pass. It'd be something a little bit different right here. Might be a little screen pass to one of your running backs in the middle of the field.
We haven't seen that.
Yeah, let that defensive lineman come rushing up the field and throw a little screen pass over the top of them.
I'm curious to see if we see an offense and then the quarterback drop back and punt. We saw that previously. Now they're going for it. J.J. Johnson, roll out right, steps and fires a dart
dropped.
as a flag comes in. And it was incomplete. Delich could not haul it in, but this might be on Valpo, the flag.
Looks like the official already signaled it, the sideline official right there, called a holding. I think that's one of the reasons why Delich dropped the ball is because as the ball was coming to him, the defensive back was pulling down on his jersey and wasn't able to extend his hands up.
I don't know if J.J. Johnson plays baseball, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does. He threw a missile there on third down. Maybe the best ball tonight from either quarterback.
Yeah, he really he was able to set his feet and step and throw right into that one and just put some smoke on that baby.
Let's see if this creates an automatic first down.
Yes, it is.
It does. Not too many penalties today, but that is the second defensive penalty against the Valparaiso Vikings, and it's going to move the sticks here with 6:25. Crown Point, the passing attack tonight has been efficient. 3 passes on this drive. All 3 have gone for first downs.
Yeah, they're doing a nice job keeping the chains moving.
Johnson, end zone shot. Did he hang on? No.
Nope, they called incomplete.
He had him beat, too.
Yes, he did.
Delich just had it go through his hands. And, wow, another pretty ball from J.J. Johnson.
I think J.J. Johnson, if he throws it just a step further, because it looks like the defensive back just at the very end was able to get his hands as the receiver was catching it and knock it out of his hands. J.J. Johnson either got A, throw it sooner, or B, throw it a little bit deeper.
Let's see if Valpo backs up a little bit with their DBs now.
Well, let's see if they bring some heat. That's the best thing for that.
They have 8 in the box, 6:19 to go. Johnson keeps on the option. Late flag comes in. Wow, it felt like he held on to that ball forever. And he gets a good chunk on second down. Let's see if it stands now.
It's going to be holding. Holding Bulldogs.
Haven't seen too many yellow flags against the Crown Point Bulldogs so far today, but second and 10 is now going to bring up 2nd and 20.
Yeah, J.J. Johnson really extended the life of that play by just holding it, and forcing that defensive end to go to the outside, covered it back, and then he turned it inside, got a decent gain. But between the tackles, there was a holding call. The head official threw the flag right into the pile.
Let's see what Crown Point elects to do here. A lot of options and a lot of yards to cover. Bodie Barant, who had the big catch earlier in this drive out there, and they go back to him at the 20, close to the 15, is going to set up 3rd and short. He needed 20. It looks like he got about 18 there.
Bodie Barant was the slot receiver on that one, and it seems like the middle of the field for the Vikings defensively is wide open. Those inside linebackers are not getting any drops. The outside linebacker covered him in the flats, and then Barant ran about 10 yards and across the field and was wide open. They have some issues in between the tackles in the pass drops for the Vikings.
Would love to ask J.J. Johnson after the game how many of his completions have gone to his first read, because it looks like the majority of them have. And some more laundry. Late yellow flag comes in, and 3rd and 3 is now 3rd and 8. If you're Craig Buzo, you've got to be furious. You get a 17-yard pickup on 2nd and 20, and now you're going back 5 yards.
Yeah, Coach Buzia he's got to be very upset with himself. Looked like I didn't see what the call was. I was looking down. Here we go with the call.
I think it's a false start or illegal motion.
Yep, illegal procedure on the offense. Coach Buzia is very meticulous about that, and he wants everything to be precise, and that is not what he likes.
That's the second penalty against the Crown Point Bulldogs on this series. play number 9 of the drive. Motion man. Johnson roll out to his right. Off his back foot. Arcs it up to the end zone. Incomplete. Excellent coverage on the outside by Tyler Morris, who had 2 picks last week. And the sophomore, he might only be 5'3", but he skied up to break up the pass.
Well, you know what? If J.J. Johnson would have saw that just a split second sooner, his tight end was wide open in the back of the end zone. The only reason Morris was able to get back there in time was because the ball was floated out there, because J.J. Johnson was getting hit as he was releasing the ball, had to float it out there, and gave Morris enough time to recover and get back there. Morris is struggling a little bit on that defensive backside, on the defensive left side.
Another timeout taken by Crown Point. We'll keep it here. Cody Fiskell has yet to kick a field goal this season. However, we've seen him hit some boots into the end zone.
Yes, he has. He's got a very strong leg. And don't forget to stay tuned with us. After the game, we'll be naming the Proud Union Home Play of the Game, presented by IKORCC. We already saw once, we saw a couple, but the one that sort of sticks out in my mind is the first play of this second half, or second quarter. Where did I write it down? Oh, here it is. That was first play of the second quarter. Clark to Scotty, what's that?
Bradney
on about a 40-yard catch, looking over his shoulder, extending his hands. What a great play to open up the second quarter.
And when we do our halftime break, we will also feature our Strack and Van Til scoreboard update.
I got one for you.
Ooh.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Bradner. Bradner with the text. It is tied up. Hobart and Andrean tied up just like this game, 7-7.
Well, let's go back down to the field. 4th down and 8, 5:02 to go. And Crown Point out of a timeout. They were able to pick up the 4th down on their previous 4th down. Let's see if they can do it again. Screen to the outside, and it is not going to get picked up. The Valpo Vikings sniffed out that screen. Zach Brown able to bring down the receiver on the outside, Ray Santiago, and it's a turnover on downs. Big stop there by Valpo, and they've got all the momentum. A touchdown to tie it, and then a stop, and now the offense back to work.
That's a huge defensive stop right there, and that could be one of our blue-collar players defense of the game, brought to you by Local 374, blue-collar players of the game. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374.
Indeed, indeed. Under 5 minutes to go, you know if you're head coach Bill Marshall, you want to possess the ball for the entirety of this drive. And on first down, Justin Clark to the outside. Does not get a whole lot. Going to bring up second down. Both teams offensively have done a lot more through the air than I thought.
Definitely.
But the difference right now, the defense, they've gotten some turnover on downs. Crown Point forced a fumble. The defense is hanging in there.
Yeah, defenses are really hanging strong right now. The Vikings got to get at least one first down here, get out from their own end zone, and if they have to punt, force Crown Point into a long field.
Julian Stokes is just inside the numbers at the bottom of your screen. He has a gun. The pitch instead goes to Berta, and Berta, still trying to stretch it to the outside, is going to lose yards. Excellent job of containment on the outside by Crown Point. This time it was Godgno, who we've seen at running back. It's going to bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, Godgno did a nice job sealing up running back, forcing him back to the inside. It looked like Berta wanted to extend that all the way to the sidelines. Just no way he was going to be able to get there. Valparaiso, when they run to the outside, they've got to run straight ahead to the outside, not running all the way, extending the play all the way, to those sidelines.
I like what Bill Marshall's doing here. He's letting the clock roll.
Oh, yes.
Play clock is down to 3. I'm not even convinced they're going to snap the ball. They do. Pressure comes. It's picked up. Clark, far sideline, looking for his go-to guy, Bradney. He's hooked up twice with him on big catches. Can't there. And a 3-and-out. Crown Point, after the turnover on downs, gets a much-needed stop, and that offense should get the ball one more time.
Well, Clark was looking for his slot receiver. Julian Stokes was running a little in route about 10 yards down the field and cut inside. And Clark, good judgment right there. The linebacker was sitting right there and was would have been able to intercept that ball. So Clark just said, you know what, I got to throw this one away. I'm not going to be able to tuck it and run for a first down, so he just threw it away.
Out there with the offense now is Ian Wilson, who started the season as the starting quarterback. Played a little bit last week in that 19-13 win against Chesterton. And, well, I don't know if maybe they've got something in store here on fourth down, but highly unlikely inside your own 20.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't see who called the timeout there. Did you guys?
It was Valparaiso.
Valparaiso? And that leaves Valparaiso with, I think, one timeout left in this quarter. But, yeah, it's unless they had something go wrong with trying to get somebody aligned for the punt team, that's sort of a waste of a timeout right there. Don't forget to stay with the Region Sports after the game as we send it back to the Centier Bank studio. The RSN crew will be on hand to recap all of tonight's action from around the region.
Thank you, thank you. Halftime is coming up, and halftime is brought to you by Hose Connections. They have our halftime report. Hose Connections, proven under pressure. 7-all, 3:24 to go. Crown Point scored on their opening series following a Valpo turnover. Valpo able to score early in the second quarter, and we haven't had any since. A really good punt here from Jackson Kopp. Fair caught for by Landon Delich, and Crown Point will go to work right around midfield.
Yeah, with 3:18 left in the half, and it looks like Crown Point has 2 timeouts left?
Correct.
Okay.
Crown Point with 2 and Valpo with, no, the other way around.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Crown Point
okay.
with 1, Valpo with 2.
Yeah, so Crown Point right here, I think they got to just stay within themselves, but I think they found a spot where they're going to go. They're going to go at the Valparaiso cornerbacks. They seem to be a little soft right now, playing way off, and they're being able to get behind them. The Crown Point wide receivers are able to get past them.
Haven't seen Ray Santiago get involved. He's been the go-to target all season. Man in motion is Nicholas Soli, and this play unable to get started. A delay a game against Crown Point, and with great field position, that just can't happen.
No, it can't, and that's the coaching staff's fault right there, and that's not the guys on the field. Good call by the officials, got it off after the play clock had expired.
And Crown Point now will be backed up to their own 42. Soli motion. Jet sweep, he gets it and slips. Maybe 2 on the play, and the clock will roll with 3 minutes in counting.
Yeah, J.J. Johnson barely got that ball to his running back right there. It looked like he slipped and had to reach his hands all the way out there. That could have been a huge turnover right there if that ball slips out of his hands.
Josh Eberly at receiver. Haven't seen him at all out there today. He's in the slot at the bottom of your screen.
Now they got to call timeout.
Miscommunication, and we'll take one with them. 2:44 remaining here in the first half. Crown Point has the ball, 2nd and 16 when we return. You're listening to football. That is Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Since 2000, Hose Connections in Hammond has been a premier leader in the hydraulics industry. Hose Connections is a one-stop shop offering quality hydraulic and pneumatic products and services. Hose Connections takes pride in not only meeting but exceeding customers' expectations. To learn all about the products and services that Hose Connections offers, visit hoseconnectionsinc.com or call 219-844-6570. Hose Connections in Hammond, proven under pressure.
Crown Point uses their final timeout of the half. And we are back. 7-all, 2 minutes and 44 seconds remaining here in quarter number 2. Jared Schlinsky alongside Jay Simmons, our producer Nick Russ, and on the camera tonight, Milton Johnson. A good one. Number 1 Crown Point in the region against number 5 Valpo. Johnson airs it out, and it is broken up, nearly intercepted. Ray Santiago had the height advantage, but he could not haul it in. Excellent coverage on the back end there by Valpo.
Yeah, J.J. Johnson just sort of looked like he floated that one up there, hoping his receivers would be able to out-jump the defensive backs of the Vikings. His tight end was open, I think, on the other hash, and he just threw it right away to the right hash. It was 4 verticals right there, so that tight end, number 85,
Seamus
Molaski was open in the middle of the field.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to it here on 3rd and 16. Maybe the same play. Let's see. Play action. Looking deep. He's got a man wide open, and he has him for 6. Johnson finds Delich for 59 yards, and Crown Point jumps in front for the second time tonight.
Yep, and this is what I talked about all night so far, is that the defensive backs of Valparaiso have been letting the wide receivers of Crown Point get behind them. As they come up to the line of scrimmage right here, J.J. Johnson setting up, sets back, looks over the top, sees his wide receiver break wide open. And again, the defensive back trailing 4 or 5 yards behind him. Great job with the throw by J.J. Johnson, and a nice job of the receiver running underneath the ball, making a nice over-the-shoulder catch for the touchdown.
Low snap is picked up, placed nicely, and kicked through by Cody Fiskel. Landon Delich had an opportunity to make another touchdown catch earlier in the quarter, unable to, but makes up for it with this one. A 59-yard touchdown from J.J. Johnson to Landon Delich. We'll take a quick timeout. When we come back, it'll be Crown Point kicking off to Valpo. 2:29 to go. You're listening to Game Night. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. J.J. Johnson hooks up with Landon Delich from 59 yards out, and Crown Point leads 14-7. This is arguably the best game of the week. Not like we're biased or anything here. Number 1 Crown Point, undefeated, 5-0, taking on Valpo, number 5 in the region, who have won 4 straight, and so far we've had a competitive game all the way through.
Yeah, just a huge mistake right there by the defensive backs of Valparaiso's squib kick.
Picked up on the far side. That's Berta, and Berta muscles up all the way to the 30. I'm surprised by that.
We got a flag on the play. It looks like a little unnecessary contact by somebody from the Crown Point Bulldogs. We saw Valparaiso Viking laying on the field.
You surprised by the squib kick? You've got a kicker who's put it in the end zone 3 times already tonight.
Yeah, I'm a little set back on that one. You know, why would you give them the chance to take it back? Just kick it into the end zone and
have them go to work from the 20. Now
yeah,
it's
exactly.
at the 30. If the penalty is on Crown Point, it might move them up to the 45. Let's see.
This would be a huge swing for the Vikings.
Indeed, indeed. And after a 59-yard touchdown pass on 3rd and long, this is the last thing you wanted if you're Craig Buzia.
Yeah, and again, that's one of our could be a possibility for one of our IKORCC plays of the game. Build your future with IKORCC.
Indeed, indeed. And remember, folks, halftime coming up soon. Tune in to the Hose Connections halftime report. Proven under pressure, and I know you're looking forward to it, Jay. We'll feature our Strachan Van Til scoreboard. Strachan Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store.
That's one of my favorite things to do.
At the 44, Valpo goes to work with 2:23, and they've moved the ball pretty well, especially here in the second quarter. 3 down linemen, 2 blitz. Clark tries to keep on first down, and he is stuffed. He might have slipped, but either way, Crown Point does not allow anything to get behind them.
That
good,
was
strong
Paul Clark
tackle.
right there,
Yeah.
number 58, the defensive end, just pushing himself into the backfield and just was able to get to Justin Clark before he was able to move out of the pocket.
Will Clark and Paul Clark have had an impact on this one early. A loss of 3, empty formation. Haven't seen a whole lot of this. Motion man, Bradney doesn't get it. Instead, it's Clark, and Clark spins really close to the original line of scrimmage. Might get slightly past it. Is going to bring up 3rd down with 1:40 If you're Bill Marshall, you let this clock roll all the way?
Yes, I do. And then what I do is I let it roll all the way down. Then I try and throw a pass here. If it's incomplete, then we punt it away.
Wow. They snap it with over 10 seconds to go on the play clock, and Berta not even able to get to midfield. Really nice open field tackle by Crown Point linebacker Nico Pavlo.
Yeah, Pavlo, great form tackle. Just put his shoulder pads right into his stomach and drove him into the ground. Now Valparaiso's going to have to give him the ball back, but they're going to take this clock down to about 40 seconds before they punt it away.
I'll tell you what, that's a really risky pass, especially if you're not going to pass it beyond the sticks, because it would have stopped the clock if it fell to the turf.
Yes, it would have. The only thing is, you know what, you're thinking, all right, I get Berta into open space. He's my best running back, one of my most elusive players on the team. Get him into open space. Maybe he can get his shoulders turned around and make a big play.
Timeout taken by Valpo. They have one remaining, and they take it with just over 38 seconds. We're going to keep it here. I don't think we're going to get a fake by any means, correct?
Oh, no. I think if you're Valpo, you're content to go into halftime 14-7, even though Crown Point does get the ball to start the second half. You just got to rely on your defense now and then at the beginning of the second half to try and shut down the Crown Point Bulldogs offense to try and stay in this game.
If you're Craig Buzia, do you consider trying to see what you can do with 30 seconds? No?
Nope.
Take a knee?
Depending on where you get the ball, I might run a draw or a screen or something very conservative. If I break it open for a big play, then I might. But the only problem is I think Bulldogs are out of timeouts.
They have had a lot of success throwing the ball, especially here in the quarter.
Yes, they have.
J.J. Johnson last week threw the ball 3 times tonight, and he's completed about 7 passes, including one for a touchdown and the other one he ran in. Good snap. The punt is up and underway, and this is an excellent punt, but it will bounce into the end zone at the last second. And Crown Point will go to work from the 20. I'm really curious to see what they do here. You might be right. They might take a knee, see if a big run can get them a first down, stop the clock. A lot of different scenarios to play out here.
I think I would be very content with just taking a knee and going into halftime. You're up 14-7. You get the ball to start the second half. Let's get to the locker room.
And I got to correct myself. J.J. Johnson did attempt a pass last week against Portage. That was a mistake on my part. 42-7 last week. They took down Portage. Crown Point 5-0. They are in the victory formation, but we still got a half to go. This will probably be the final play of the half. If it is 14-7, the score after the first half, and it will be Crown Point receiving to begin the second half. Let's take a quick timeout, recap the first half, and then we will send it back to the studio for the Hose Connections halftime. No, we will keep it here for the Hose Connections halftime report, brought to you by Hose Connections, proven under pressure. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Did you know?
They decorate over 210,000 cakes a year.
Did you know?
Their butcher will cut your meat your way.
Did you know?
They have trained floral designers in store.
Did you know?
They will make your wedding cake.
Did you know?
They have a variety of deli bakeable entrees.
Did you know?
Their online app has coupons and so much more. Who does that?
Strachan Van Til. Now you know.
Thank you for taking me home. It's so far.
Don't worry about it, Grandma. This will be fun. 2 chocolate milkshakes, please.
Make it 3.
3?
Did you get
get his number? No, Grandma. Grandma!
Excuse me. Some relationships get better with time. That's why I got a Crosstrek.
97% of Subaru vehicles sold in the last 10 years are still on the road.
I'm so glad you got a Subaru. I wonder who gave me the idea. Oh.
Love. It's what makes Subaru, Subaru.
Check out the new Subarus at Castle Subaru in Portage. Ethos Dental Group in Munster, Crown Point, and Cedar Lake offers a full scope of general and cosmetic dentistry with expertise ranging from porcelain veneers to dental implants, crowns, and bridges. At Ethos Dental Group, you're assured that Dr. Mark Stojkovic and his associates, Dr. Emily Hansen and Dr. Brian Douts, utilize the latest in technology. Check out ethosdentalgroup.com or call 219-595-3432 to schedule an appointment. Ethos Dental Group, Munster, Crown Point, and Cedar Lake.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. Since 2000, Hose Connections in Hammond has been a premier leader in the hydraulics industry. Hose Connections is a one-stop shop offering quality hydraulic and pneumatic products and services. Hose Connections takes pride in not only meeting but exceeding customers' expectations. To learn all about the products and services that Hose Connections offers, visit hoseconnectionsinc.com or call 219-844-6570. Hose Connections in Hammond, proven under pressure.
You're watching the Hose Connections Halftime Report, brought to you by Hose Connections on Kennedy Avenue in Hammond. Visit them on the web at hoseconnectionsinc.com. Hose Connections, proven under pressure. We've played one half so far here on Homecoming from Valparaiso High School. It's Crown Point 14, Valparaiso 7. And all of a sudden, after a really strong opening drive from Valpo, just a mix-up on the read option between Justin Clark and his running back Thomas Berta. And, well, Crown Point takes advantage. They go 60 yards to jump in front 7-0. J.J. Johnson, the 25-yard rushing touchdown. And, well, Crown Point's never really looked back.
Yeah, Crown Point, that came at 6:35 in the first quarter. And like you said, it was set up by miscommunication in the backfield by the Vikings. Fumbles always come back to haunt you. You know, mistakes. That's what it's all about. And then you've got the start of the second quarter, Justin Clark to Bradney.
Yep.
On a 40-yard pass to open up the second quarter to set up the Valparaiso score with 9:54 in the second quarter. Justin Clark on a 7-yard run. Great job doing. He read the blocks, cut it back inside, and then turned it up the field for the touchdown. Nice job by Justin Clark there. And then it was sort of a seesaw game going back and forth. We saw, a couple teams go for it on fourth down and at about the 30-yard lines, not be able to get it. Defenses stood tall. And then all of a sudden, Crown Point, with 2:29 left, calls a timeout. Thinking, okay, we got 3rd and long here. Let's throw one up. They run one of their receivers on a deep post, and the outside receiver or the inside receiver runs an out route. They jump the out route. The postman, Landon Dillich, wide open for a 59-yard, easy throw and catch, but a great catch by Landon Dillich, looking over his shoulder, over the top of his head. The quarterback dropped. J.J. Johnson drops it in there. He goes in, perfectly striding all the way out. And ever since then, with that 2:29 left, it was again another seesaw, back and forth. Valparaiso got it to about midfield and just stalled out right there and ended up punting it away with a few seconds left. Crown Point takes the knee. Here's what's got to have happen for the Vikings is they got to come out and do a nice job to start that second half. Defensively, they got to be able to come out and sit the Bulldogs down and make them punt the ball. And I think that's one of our Castle Subaru keys to the second half.
Correct. So that is your key for Valpo. And again, that is a second half key brought to you by Castle Subaru. Check out the Castle inventory of new and used vehicles at castlesubaru.com. What about for Crown Point? What's the key to continuing to hold this lead?
Well, here's what I think Crown Point's got to do is defensively, they've got to force Valparaiso into some third and long situations, make them become predictable, because it seems like Valparaiso offensive line has really established themselves, getting some good pushes. But the thing is, Valpo tries to go stretch to play all the way to the outside. Valparaiso's been so successful running the ball off tackle that they just got to stick with that. But Crown Point's got to come up, step up big defensively. And if Crown Point can come out and get that score to start the second half in that opening drive, that's really going to put Valparaiso behind the 8 ball on that one. Because if Valparaiso goes down 2 scores, they've got to start airing that ball out.
Indeed. We'll take another short timeout here on the Hose Connections halftime report. When we return, we will have our Strack and Van Til scoreboard. 14-7 our score at the half. Crown Point on top of Valpo between the number 1 Crown Point Bulldogs and the number 5 Valpo Vikings. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hanger Insurance Group in Crown Point is passionate about providing a premier service insurance agency featuring customized coverage and meaningful relationships. They understand that you've built a life and they want to help you protect it. From home to life insurance, they offer a wide variety of coverage to fit your needs. From choosing a plan to filing claims, Hanger Insurance Group agents are ready to help. Stop in for a quote at 950 South Court Street in Crown Point or visit them online at hangerinsurancegroup.com. Protect what you love. With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
Flip the switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the NECA contractors and electrical workers of Local 531.
American Community Bank is a local bank serving the Northwest Indiana area exclusively for over a century. A true community bank that is proud to remain a faithful local institution dedicated to being your financial partner throughout life. With branches in Cherville, Crown Point, Dyer, Hammond, and Munster, American Community Bank is a full-service bank serving clients with personal and business banking needs. Visit acbanker.com to find out more about American Community Bank.
The Hose Connections halftime report continues. Let's now take a look at tonight's scores across the region. Tonight's region football scores are brought to you by Strack and Van Til. Streaming online at facebook.com/regionsports and regionsports.com. Strack and Van Til. Shop online for delivery or curbside pickup at strackandvantil.com. Jay, you got the scores in front of you.
Yes, I do. Let's get it.
Take it away, my friend.
All right, let's get to it. Well, let's start right here at Valparaiso. We got the Crown Point up 14-7 over the Vikings. This one is at the half. And continuing down, most of these scores, this game is going by rather quickly. So most of these scores that I'm going to be reading off to you are in the late part of the second quarter. And we've got Andrean 21, Hobart Bricky 7. Again, like I said, all these scores are going to be in the later part of the second quarter. Red Devils 24, KV Cougars 6. Well, I thought that would be a little bit closer. I did have Lowell winning 14-13 in that game in one of my predictions, but the Lowell Red Devils had opened it up against Coach Kirk Kennedy's return to Lowell. And as predicted, number 2, Maryville Pirates 28, LaPorte Slicers 0. Hanover continues to roll Hanover Central Wildcats 27, Boone Grove Wolves 0, and that's Hanover Central number 3 in the RSN poll. Let's continue down. Calumet Warriors 13, Griffith 7. And this was my upset special right here when I talked with Nathan and Michael Bradner over this past week, Thursday night pregame show. I thought the record of Griffith Panthers was not indicative of how they played throughout the season. They've got to bounce back for me to look good in my predictions. Hammond Central Wolves 13, East Chicago Central nothing. Michigan City 17, Lake Central 14, a lot closer than I had anticipated. Chesterton Trojans bouncing back after a tough defeat here at Valparaiso. Chesterton 27, Portage Indians 7. In the Battle of the Bridge, Munster Mustangs 7, Highland Trojans 0. And that one's going pretty much according to the way I drew it out. I'm liking that, even though I'm a blue blood at heart. River Forest Ingots 28, Bishop Knoll nothing. Wheeler and Whiting knotted up at 0. South Central and Lake Station knotted up at 0. And the Morton Governors and Indianapolis Cathedral Fighting Irish knotted up at 0. Those are your scores. And that is brought to you by Strachan Van Til, your favorite Indiana-made grocery store. We will continue with the halftime show. You are watching Game Night in the Region on this Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Did you know?
Wow, they'll prepare fresh fish while you wait.
Did you know?
They make over 40,000 donuts from scratch every week?
Did you know?
They offer 23 different deli platters for your party?
Did you know?
They have freshly chopped fajita mix ready to cook.
Did you know?
They have the best fried chicken in the area?
Did you know?
They offer our signature curbside service 14 hours a day.
Strachan Van Til. Now you know.
Are you a steel hauler? Come work for Area Transportation. You must have a current valid Class A commercial driver's license and at least 1 year of recent verifiable steel hauling experience and at least 2 years of recent verifiable interstate experience operating a commercial motor vehicle. Call recruiting at 1-855-400-6939. That's 1-855-400-6939.
Sudden injury or illness can happen anytime. When it does, feel better fast. Urgent care at Pinnacle Hospital. We have a network of highly qualified physicians, and your wait is minutes, not hours. We offer on-site laboratory and radiology services. We accept most insurance, Medicare, and Medicaid, plus the biggest cash pay discount in Northwest Indiana. We're recognized by Press Ganey in the top 3% in the country for customer satisfaction. Feeling better fast. Urgent care at Pinnacle Hospital.
Switch, a light turns on. Press the button, machines and instruments come to life. Touch the screen, communicate with the world. Simple tasks, guaranteed results, every second of every day. That's the power of power. And that's the power brought to you by the Nika Contractors and Electrical Workers of Local 531.
Attention homeowners, ready to start your next project? Need to pay off your debt? Refinance your home? Unlock the value of your home with a Centier Bank no-fee home equity loan or home equity line of credit. Stop by a local Centier branch today or visit us on the web at centier.com/home equity. Terms and conditions subject to change without notice, subject to credit approval. Centier Bank, NMLS number 408076, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday nights, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop. Since 2000, Hose Connections in Hammond has been a premier leader in the hydraulics industry. Hose Connections is a one-stop shop offering quality hydraulic and pneumatic products and services. Hose Connections takes pride in not only meeting but exceeding customers' expectations. To learn all about the products and services that Hose Connections offers, visit hoseconnectionsinc.com or call 219-844-6570. Hose Connections in Hammond, proven under pressure.
The marching band has just finished their on-field performance, an excellent job on hand by the Valparaiso High School Viking Marching Band. And what a good game we have on hand tonight here at Homecoming, where minutes ago the Homecoming Queen was announced. Great ball game, though, nonetheless. Vikings here at home trailing the number one Crown Point Bulldogs 14-7. And give credit to Valpo. Early mistakes, most notably the fumble on the opening drive after picking up a couple of first downs. They could have just folded, but they have hung tough and are within a one-score, 7-point margin against maybe the best team in the entire state, not just the region in Crown Point.
Yeah, Crown Point's playing really good tonight. Let's look at this. At the conclusion of tonight's game, we'll name the Crowell Lantern Band superhero of the game. They are your superhero, insurance superheroes. Looking at some stats for the first half, J.J. Johnson looks like he's lining up himself for that award. He's 6 for 11, 119 yards passing and a touchdown, 25 yards rushing. So he's putting together a pretty solid night. And looking at the other side, you've got Clark.
Justin Clark.
Thank you. I'm sort of out of breath. I ran up those stairs. There's about 50 stairs to get up here, and I just got back.
Yeah, and everyone's trying to use the bathroom. I know.
Justin Clark, 4 for 5, 77 yards, and a good portion of that went to on the IKORC play of the game. I can't read that.
Scotty Bradney. Well, you got that type so small. I need binoculars to see that stuff. Scotty Bradney. As he hands me with a 40-yard catch right to start the opening of the second quarter. Great catch and throw right there. Clark, in addition to his 77 yards passing, has 34 yards on the ground. And to go along with Clark on the ground, Berta with 46 yards on the ground also. So there's some little bit of numbers for you coming into the second half. Thank you so much, Jay. 1:06 remaining here before the start of the second half. Both teams have taken the field, and while we should have a really good game in store for the second half, Valparaiso will kick off to Crown Point, and you have to remember Crown Point won the opening toss, elected to defer, and well, it looks like it's going to pan out dividends for them, especially because the way their offense finished the second half, finished the first half, excuse me.
And that's all right. The Friday night forecast is brought to you by our friends at Economy Electric Heating and Cooling. Tonight's second half forecast is 57 degrees. And let's check on the wind conditions. Wind south-southwest at 4 miles an hour, so pretty much non-existent out there. Just it's a first crisp fall weather of the season. And don't forget, the Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, keeping you warm, keeping you cool in the summer and cozy in the winter. I almost got that backwards.
Yeah, we don't want to be warm in the summer. Hey, it's the opposite of last week. Last week we had shorts and polos. This week we've got pants and long sleeve shirts and sweaters. I want to thank everybody with our staff so far tonight. Can't do it without our game producer, Nick Russ. our video man, Milton Johnson, our executive producer, Chris Ramirez, and our coordinating producer, Nathan Laird. You look at these teams' passing attacks. Both did not put up very big numbers early in the season. Valpo came in with 60 passing yards per game. They've already exceeded that through the first half.
Correct.
Crown Point came in with 128 passing yards per half, right near that. Do you expect to see the passing game continue, or do you expect to see this ball get tucked on the ground in the second half?
Well, you know what? So both defensive lines are so tough that I think because of that, they're forcing the offense coordinator to do something a little bit outside of the box. And when you've seen several times the wide receivers of Crown Point have been able to get behind the defensive backs of Valparaiso. So I think if I'm Crown Point, I keep going to the well until they stop me.
I think you might be right. What about defensively? We've seen these teams stand tough, but we've also seen them give up a lot more yards than they're used to.
Well, I think for Valparaiso, they've got to do something with their pass coverage. They're leaking oil all over the field on that. I think what they've got to do is they've got to start on obvious passing situations. They've got to get J.J. Johnson out of the pocket by blitzing. They blitzed a couple times, and they got to him, but they've got to continue to do it more often. Get him moving on his feet, making him throw on a run, or just making him tuck it and run. But they've got to start blitzing to help out those guys in the secondary.
Tell you what, though, both kickers have had a boot. Every single kick except the intentional squib kick from Fiscal has been a touchback. Haven't seen a lot in either return game, and that's saying something because Valpo really struggled with the snap and the hold last week against Chesterton.
Yes, they did, and we've got another Strachan Van Til scoreboard update. Thank you, Mr. Bradner. He's doing the Hobart Andrean game at the half. Andrean up 21-10. Thank you, Mr. Bradner.
Thank you so much. I don't know who Mr. Bradner is, but
he's another man that works doing play-by-play for Region Sports. We've got a lot of mics on this staff.
Yeah, we do.
And don't forget, Strachan Van Til, that's your favorite Indiana-made grocery store.
You know what? I think I have met Mike now that I think of it.
And there's, I think, we got 3 or 4 different mics working. And I'm not talking about the ones we're talking into. I'm talking about mics.
Ah, look at you.
Little pun there.
Yeah. Joke of the day goes to you, Jay. Ooh, that rhymed, too. Just about moments away from starting the second half. Jackson Kopp with a high booming kick, and it is not going to make its way into the end zone. This is the first time we're going to get to see either return or go to work. And Ray Santiago goes not even to the 20. So
yeah, number 32 for the Vikings on the coverage right there. Did a nice job getting downfield, making an open field tackle.
Sam Ampliotis, we've seen him at linebacker. We've seen him have to cover some deep passes, and that's really where Valpo has struggled, the middle of the field on second and third and long.
Yeah, the linebackers are not getting into their normal drop zones, and that middle of the field is just wide open, and Crown Point has taken full advantage of it.
Crown Point so far today, over 100 yards through the air, right around 100 yards on the ground, and J.J. Johnson. He had 4 touchdowns against Andrean in their second game of the year. He's got both touchdowns tonight, and Johnson on first down scampers forward close for about 5 yards.
Yeah, Johnson did a nice job just following all his blockers, just get a good push. It looks like a little bit of a rugby scrum going there, but they got a good push for first down. And a pickup of 5, going to be second down and 5.
No injuries so far, which has been big because last week Valpo lost its starting running back in Travis Davis. He did not play today, and he will not play. Daryl Davis only got a couple of snaps last week, and he has not played yet. And so far, well, Crown Point to begin the second half, another strong run, and this one's going to move the sticks.
Yeah, number 20 there, Tony Godwin. Did a nice job just following those blockers. Simple little dive play right off the right side. Got about 15 yards on that play. Big push by the offensive line.
Good pickup there on second and short. It goes for about 10. At their own 37. Johnson still on his feet into Valpo territory at the 35. Wow. somehow did not take it to the house. Last second was tripped up, and that saved a touchdown.
Yeah, it looked like he tripped over his own 2 feet on the play, but J.J. Johnson picks up 27 yards on the play. Great job just getting down the field. Again, offensive line really establishing the push right here for the Bulldogs.
3 plays so far from scrimmage, 3 runs. Johnson, good Gagno, weaving his way through, and he will fall forward, close for a pickup of 5. Brought down by Grant Anderson, who we haven't seen a whole lot of today.
Well, here's what's happening out there right now. Crown Point is all of a sudden come flying off the ball. Valparaiso's got to step up with some linebacker blitzes or some stunts to confuse the offensive line.
Second down, Johnson keeps, and he escapes. What should have been a loss of a couple goes for a gain. Tyler Young finally got him. He had a chance, though, to bring him down in the backfield.
Yeah, Ty Venn right there blitzed and had a clean shot at him, but J.J. Johnson just being able to be elusive made him miss and was able to pick up a few yards on that play. Could have been a loss of about 5 or 6.
Instead, it's 3rd and 3 at the Valpo 30. Tight end in there. Valpo blitzes, and I believe Johnson has the first down.
It's going to be real close.
And it looks like he should have enough for it. Either way, good job by Valpo. They had to sell out, and luckily they were able to execute.
Yeah, Valparaiso shot a couple linebackers right there, and they actually shot them right into the play, but were just not able to wrap up. And it looks like it's going to be...
Are they going to bring out the chains here? I think they might.
Yes, they are.
I think it's the right call, too. You want to know if it's less
definitely.
than a yard, a foot, a couple inches, an index card.
And I never heard that thrown in before.
Either way, though, this 4-down territory?
Definitely. They are, most teams don't have a high school kicker that's going to be able to kick a 45-yard field goal. And it looks like it's going to be...
I thought he got it initially. And don't forget, Crown Point, 2 for 2 on 4th down already. Or, 2 for 3 on 4th down already.
They're going to say 4th down. It was tough with the shadows out there. I could not see what was happening. So it's going to be 4th down in inches.
Well, I think it's pretty safe to say Crown Point is going to go for it. The question is, what do they do?
If I'm Crown Point, I just continue to attack that right side. They have been very successful. Even though Valparaiso is blitzing those 2 left linebackers, they are still able to get big chunks of yardage. The thing is here, if you're Valpo, you don't want to overextend your blitzes and then have somebody squirt through and have nobody on the next level.
Crown Point fans getting into it. Just tuning in here on Region Sports Network, opening drive of the second half. Crown Point has moved the ball efficiently. A couple of first downs, all on the ground, and now their first 4th down of the second half. Johnson has it, and then some. J.J. Johnson, who scored both touchdowns in the first half, gets a huge 4th down here to keep the chains moving.
Yeah, that right side of that offensive line has just established a little bit of dominance over there, and they've got a great push. And like I said, Valparaiso didn't want to overextend themselves and blitz into the play and then have him squirt through for a touchdown. Luckily, they had somebody in the backfield to make the tackle.
First down. Johnson keeps, darts up the middle, close to the first down. They have done an excellent job on this series of getting more than 5 yards on first down.
Yeah, Alex Rodriguez had to come from behind to make the tackle right there, and they are just getting great pushes. I mean, I sound like a broken record. They just, I don't know, all of a sudden they have come out. I'd like to know what Coach Bazia said to that offensive line at halftime. I want to copyright that.
Yeah, got them going, that's for sure.
Yes, he did.
Some late substitutions for Valpo. I think they're going to have to use a timeout.
Yes. Oh, Crown. Okay.
Timeout by Valpo. In a game like this, timeouts definitely are crucial.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll take one with them when we return. 2nd down and 4, 8:26. Crown Point moving the ball. They lead 14-7. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town. Second down and 4. 8:26 remaining here in the second half. Crown Point clinging to a 14-7 lead, looking to extend it. Some substitution problems for Valpo. Bill Marshall, head coach, no choice but to use a timeout. And while maybe they need the
and
break,
they're still running guys on and off the field.
They might need it because they've had a hard time stopping Crown Point here on this series. Looks like they've got 8 on the line of scrimmage. They sell out, and Johnson keeps on the option close to the first down marker.
Well, it looks like Johnson initially wanted to bounce that to the outside. Good job at the defensive end, sealing it off and making him go back into the offensive line. But like our producer, Nick Russ, said, hey, the Valparaiso defensive line is on roller skates.
This will be play number 10 of the drive, third down. Another run. They've been all of these plays have been runs on this opening series.
And it looks like it is going to be a first down. They're throwing the sticks down, so it's going to be first and goal. Looks like just inside the 6-yard line.
You talk about a statement drive. Establishing your physicality. 10 plays, 10 runs, multiple first downs, and now you're inside the 5.
And the thing is, Crown Point hasn't made any bones about it. Get it, bones, dogs. Right?
Yeah.
They haven't made any bones about it. They have run the ball to the right side of that offensive line this entire drive.
It's been mostly the quarterback, too, J.J. Johnson. He's got 2 scores. He keeps here, and he walks in for 6. J.J. Johnson has made this a 2-score game. Jay, take us through it. First and goal from the 5. He had no problem finding the end zone.
No, he didn't. You know, and as you watch the play to develop, there was a linebacker that shot in untouched, and J.J. Johnson just makes a miss, and then he just goes in. Nice job of cutting off that outside block. Everybody from Valparaiso extended themselves way to the sidelines, and he cut back inside of it. Great job of reading the play by J.J. Johnson.
That drive covered 81 yards, 11 plays, 4.5 minutes. Valpo nearly blocked it. I think they jumped. And I'm curious, when you jump on the PAT, I've always thought maybe you should accept the penalty and go for 2 from the 1.
Well, at this point in the game, you're already up 13 points. Why mess around and go for 2? Just don't chase the points.
You sound like you're giving betting advice when someone takes the spread. Don't chase the points.
There you go. Yeah, that's it exactly. Well, it looks like they're going to go against my better advice.
I like the decision, too. They haven't had any negative runs to begin the half. They haven't.
No, they haven't.
No, it makes all the sense in the world if you ask me.
And I'm wondering where they're going to go.
Yeah, well, you've said it all game. At least all half. They like the right side. And you get to pick where you want the ball, the middle, the left hash, right hash.
Yep, you can put it anywhere you want. And they're just going to leave it. Well, they're just going to run over the right tackle, so what's the difference?
This is a huge play in the game. Up 13, 20-7. Crown Point following the penalty. Brings back the offense. Johnson runs, and he is stopped. No negative runs on the 11-play drive that ended in 6. It will not be 7. They get the stop. Jonah Kyle chases down J.J. Johnson.
Yeah, Jonah Kyle came from the backside, blitzed in, and made a great stop right there.
Indeed. We'll take a timeout. Valpo's offense should take the field when we return. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Attention homeowners, ready to start your next project? Need to pay off your debt? Refinance your home? Unlock the value of your home with a Sentier Bank no-fee home equity loan or home equity line of credit. Stop by a local Sentier branch today or visit us on the web at sentier.com/home equity. Terms and conditions subject to change without notice, subject to credit approval. Sentier Bank, NMLS number 408076, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC.
Crown Point goes 81 yards in less than 4.5 minutes. They get 6, but they can't make it 7 following a encroachment penalty. They elect to go for 2, and Valpo gets the stop. Jonah Kyle keeps J.J. Johnson from making it a 15-point game. It's 20-7. What a huge momentum swing. And now the Crown Point kicking unit out. Cody Fiskel from his own 40 with 3 back for the Vikings.
Looks like that one might be going out of bounds.
The wind must be blowing that way, or blowing in that way, because neither team has let their kicker kick as far as he can when going from right to left.
Well, if you look down at the north end of the field, the flag is not moving at all. Now it's time for Valparaiso offense to answer the bell here. The defense at least held them to only 6 points. Now the Viking offense has got to come out and put a show together here, keep them in the game.
The penalty will give Valpo the ball at their own 35. It was a very clean first quarter. Then it got a little bit more ticky-tack in the second quarter, and, well, Crown Point following the kick out of bounds with the first penalty the second half. Justin Clark keeps. He is hit hard, but gets 7 on 1st and 10.
Yeah, Justin Clark right there. Just a straight ahead, simple little dive fake. Gets a good push from his offensive line. They've got to get some momentum going. It's 2nd and 1. Get some momentum going. Get the tempo going. They've got to get up there and run these plays a lot quicker than what they are.
A pickup of 9. Valpo in green with the ball. Late flag comes in, and I don't think Clark even got back to the original line of scrimmage.
Now it looks like he where the official spot. It looks like he got a first down, but it's going to be a holding call right in the middle of that running play. The flag comes out. It's always a holding.
This should be coming back.
Yep, holding on the Vikings.
So 1st and 1 is now. Second and 1 is now 2nd and 11, and both teams with penalties so far early in the third. We saw Crown Point 11-play drive, all runs end up with 6. You expect to see a lot of runs on this drive from Valpo?
I think Valparaiso's got to start mixing it up a little bit more, and they've got to get up to the ball with a sense of urgency. You're down 13 points. You cannot let the whole play clock run out. You've got to get up there, bam, run play. Get to the cuddle quickly, run another play, and get as many plays as you can in as fast as you can.
And when Valpo elected to go to the air, it was Scotty Bradney. He had 2 catches, 2 first downs, close to 50 yards in the first half. Let's see if they go his way. Clark, 2 pass, airs it out. Little late contact, but no flag. Really nice coverage on the back end.
Yeah, Julian Stokes. It looked like he slowed down right as the quarterback released the ball. Justin Clark thought he was going to go deeper with his post route, and Stokes sort of cut it more across the field, so miscommunication right there. Stokes did have a little bit of an angle on the defensive back.
Griffin Van Tyke was with Stokes step for step, and it's going to bring up 3rd and 12. Let's see what Valpo does here. They have thrown the ball a lot better tonight than they have earlier in the season. Pressure comes. Clark steps up, goes way deep, and he is picked off. Still on his feet. Tommy Goodgagno weaving and drilled right around the 35.
Looks like that was number 1.
Oh, excuse me. It is not Goodgagno. It is Will Clark with the pick. And it will be Crown Point football.
Yeah, Clark just sort of throws it up a little bit, and to me it just looked like he just threw it up to throw it away because there was nobody open, and he threw an interception. And, Crown Point now in control of this game, but it looked like Clark, just an ill-advised pass right there, just needs to throw the underneath pattern instead of trying to go for the home run, especially 2 plays in a row.
I guess the only good thing is if you ended up punting, the pick was essentially like a punt.
Yes, it was.
Going to work now, Crown Point, from their own 34. Johnson gives to Goodgagno, wrapped up from behind, and he gets nothing. Nice tackle on hand by the outside linebacker, Jonah Kyle.
Yeah, Jonah Kyle the last two plays defensively has stepped up a little bit. They need another couple more guys to step up defensively for the Vikings. They got to have a stop here.
Kyle with the stop on the 2-point conversion. Gets the stop on 1st and 10 as the game clock rolls under 6 minutes.
And if I'm Crown Point, I don't snap the ball until there's only 5 seconds left on the play clock.
Yeah, I'm not sure they're going to get this off. Play clock is down to 3. They do get it off. Johnson, a big hole, has the first down and lunges forward to the 45. J.J. Johnson, he's been the go-to guy all game for Crown Point. His arm, his legs, it doesn't matter, and he picks it up on 2nd down.
He's a dual threat out there is what you're trying to say, huh?
Sure is.
Yeah, he's been doing a great job. And right there on that play, he sort of let the play develop. He didn't run straight to the hole. Let the play develop. Let his blockers open up a hole, and then he was elusive in the hole, picks up the first down. J.J. Johnson, tough to stop right now.
New set of downs. Game clock is not rolling. Now it is. Bubble screen to the outside, and some space momentarily before being wrapped up from behind. Landon Delich with a first down. He caught the touchdown near the end of the quarter, and here the first completion of the second half for Crown Point.
Yeah, nice job. Just a little screen pass right there. Get the ball to somebody that's elusive out in the open area, open space, does a nice job, accelerates, gets down the field. Crown Point is showing right now why they're number 1 in the RSN poll.
5-0 coming into tonight. Every game they have won this season by at least 14. They are up 13 with 4:45 and ticking in the third. First down. Looked like a little bit of early movement. Somebody jumped for Crown Point. And 1st and 10 is now going to be 1st and 15. You seeing fatigue being a factor here for Valpo? They're just not getting that same push I thought they had earlier in the game.
Yeah, you're right about that. And they've been out on the field a whole lot so far in the second half. I think Valparaiso offense was on the field for, 4 or 5 plays?
That's a great point.
So they're starting to run out of gas right there. And Crown Point is just wearing them down. They're just getting good pushes up front. They're getting those defensive linemen with their hands on their hips. They're starting to wear down.
That previous drive for Crown Point was 10 plays, 4.5 minutes. This will be play number 5 of the drive. 1st and 15. Johnson right in front of midfield. Another deep ball. And this time, I think it's caught. The question is who hauled it in.
Nope,
broken up.
Broken up, double coverage right there. Both Valparaiso Vikings were right there on the play, and it looks like Landon Delich was shaken up a little bit on the play.
Yeah, same thing for corner Tyler Morris, who had 2 picks last week. Only a sophomore and 5'3". He grows a little bit, gains some weight. He could be a player in a year or 2.
Yeah, he's going through some growing pains out there tonight.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, though, he's going up against guys much bigger.
Yes, he is.
He's doing everything he can. 2nd down and 15. Gagno past the 40, close, a little bit past the original line of scrimmage. And this is going to bring up 3rd down, which Crown Point has not had much of an issue with as of late.
No, they haven't. And nice job by J.J. Johnson right there on the draw play. Put the ball up for a second or two, let the linebackers drop, then fed it to his running back. Picks up a nice few yards. Now it's 3rd down and manageable.
3rd down and...
Well, I should say somewhat manageable, 3rd and 10.
And they've had no problem with this, especially on that last drive of the second half. Johnson rolls out right for the first down. He found his man, but it was out of bounds.
What a nice catch. That was Ray Santiago, but his feet were out of bounds. He did extend his hands. J.J. Johnson had nowhere to throw it, but right where he did. But he was about 2 yards outside of the white line.
So it brings up 4th down. And you got to think Crown Point's going to punt here.
Yeah, yes, 100%. And, the receiver did catch the ball out of bounds, so the clock stops with 3:55 left in the 3rd quarter.
High pooch punt, caught inside the 20, and that is where Valpo will go to work with 3:50 to go. Valpo, I thought, forced the issue a little bit on that previous series. A couple of passes that maybe weren't there. You're only down 2 scores. If you do get a touchdown, even if you take off a lot of time, there's a chance you're going to get the ball back one more time.
Oh, definitely. And their defense showed right there that they can get the ball back. So I think Valparaiso's got to calm down a little bit, establish their running game, stay within themselves, throw the pass, but throw it in the medium. You don't need to go for the home runs all the time.
Justin Clark, just a sophomore. First down, over the middle of the field, threw it behind his man. He might have had him if he put it in front of him.
Yeah, he was open. That looks like it's Ian Wilson out there at the quarterback spot, number 12.
You're right. First time we've seen Ian Wilson, and it was Rocco Michichi, the slot receiver who already has 1 catch today. Wilson played last week, and when he was in there, he threw the ball quite a bit. He did throw an interception, and don't forget, he has starting experience. He was the starter to open the season.
Yeah, but like you said, if Wilson gets that ball out in front of him, he might still be running because he was open, just the ball just a hair behind him. When you're running full speed like that, as Michichi was, there's no way to stop and get back to that ball.
Crown Point brings 5. Michichi in the flat, spins on his feet, past the 30, and then some. A first down, and so much for what we said, running the ball. 2 passes to begin this series.
And that's why they brought in the new pitcher, Ian Wilson. Throws a couple pretty good balls. The first 2 throws, hits the receiver on the second one. Receiver makes a nice move. Michichi in the open field picks up some big yardage.
It's been Michichi and Scotty Bradney, both speedy slot receivers today. Ian Wilson, his first offensive series tonight. Back to the air. Little low.
Ball looked like it was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
I think you're right. And he was looking for Xander Kornig on first down. You consider a run here? You've thrown the ball 3 straight times.
I think, you run a draw, run some screens, just get back to what you were doing successfully in the first half. I don't know why they're pressing the panic button here, with 3:26 left in the third quarter.
Thomas Berta had a pretty big first half. He hasn't touched the ball here yet. Let's see if they go to him here. Pistol formation. They stack the line of scrimmage. And wow, Valpo with their second timeout used. They're only going to have 1 left, and there's a lot of football left. We'll take one with them. 3:26, 20-7. Crown Point on top. Valpo driving. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
American Community Bank is a local bank serving the Northwest Indiana area exclusively for over a century. A true community bank that is proud to remain a faithful local institution dedicated to being your financial partner throughout life. With branches in Cherville, Crown Point, Dyer, Hammond, and Munster, American Community Bank is a full-service bank serving clients with personal and business banking needs. Visit acbanker.com to find out more about American Community Bank.
Valpo uses their second timeout on 2nd and 10. They stand on their own 34, and they've got themselves a 13-point deficit. Jared Schlinsky alongside Jay Simmons. We are playing for the county seat trophy tonight. Crown Point lost it on their home field last season, looking to bring it back to Crown Point tonight. Play action. Wilson drilled as he throws, and just a little bit too far out of the reach of his tight end as the ball hits the turf.
Yeah, he was forced to throw that ball a little bit quicker than he wanted to because he had a guy barreling down on him, and he got unloaded on right as he let go of the ball.
Connor McCall, who we see a lot at defensive end, the intended target. And Valparaiso throwing the football here in the second half. And
yes, they are.
When you're down, I guess that's the way to go. 3 receivers to the top of your screen. The man on your bottom of the screen is Scotty Bradney. He can fly. Wilson evades pressure for a moment,
looked like
and
there
then
might have been a face mask
down
on that one, but no call by the officials.
Wilson sacked by Nate Kalk, and Valpo will have no choice but to punt.
Yeah, that play was no good from the get-go. There was so much pressure. The offensive line just wasn't able to hold up for him. But it looked like, to me, it almost looked like when he was scrambling to the outside here, that it looked like the defensive man pulled down on his face mask, but no call.
Landon Delich back at his own 35. Low snap goes through the legs of Kopp. And
The
he
ball is
might have
out.
dove on it, but either way, Crown Point is going to set themselves up for another touchdown. We talked about the special teams miscues last week, and it comes back to bite them here late in the third quarter.
Yeah, and some of the miscues early on was the center snap on extra points. So it's going to be another problem right there on the punt for the snapper.
This could be our potential IKORCC play of the game. I think it depends on if Crown Point can punch it in or not, but a 13-point lead on the Valpo, too. This could be a gut punch right
Yes,
here.
it could be.
Let's see if Valpo can get a stop. Johnson under center. Some trickery. Either way, he walks in for 6. J.J. Johnson finds the end zone again tonight. Johnson with his second touchdown run of the half. His third rushing on the day, and it's 26-7. Jay, we're pulling up the instant replay here. Take us through it, please.
All right, J.J. Johnson just fouls his pulling guard and tackle, just waltzes into the end zone untouched. Great job of Johnson letting the play develop and just getting behind those big trucks and just walking in. I wish if I was out there running quarterback, I wish I had a couple big guys running in front of me like that.
Tell you what, a lot of those linemen were switching spots, moving left and right. They were busy. Creative there on offense. PAT is good, and it is 27-7. Crown Point, their biggest lead tonight. They are 14 minutes and 34 seconds from taking home the county seat trophy. We'll take another timeout here on Region Sports Network. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
With electrical services from Economy Electric Heating and Cooling, you can radiate the perfect amount of light and energy into your home. From rewiring and code upgrades to ceiling fans, lighting, security, and more, Economy Electric Heating and Cooling's trained electricians will make sure you can enjoy your home on full power all the time. For a free estimate on electrical work, call Economy Electric Heating and Cooling at 219-923-4441, and you can visit them on the web at 4ajobdoneright.com. That's the number 4ajobdoneright.com.
J.J. Johnson finds the end zone for the second time on the ground this half. He has 4 total touchdowns, 3 rushing, 1 passing, and it is Crown Point 27-7 over Valpo. That might have been the knockout blow, Jay.
Yeah, Mount Valpo's going to have to do again, just like they did the last series. They're going to have to come out and throw, and that's just not what they're built to do right now. So they've got a long road ahead of them. They've got to have some breaks come their way big time and in a hurry.
Every time the kickers for either team, Jackson Kopp or Cody Fiscal, kicking right to left, have yet to get it to the end zone. Let's see what Fiscal does here. He's got a couple of pooch kicks in him already today.
Yes, he does.
Another high kick towards the sideline. Takes a Crown Point bounce, and I think it stayed in bounds. And
yes,
if so, Crown Point will go to work right around their own 30 with 2:34. We saw Ian Wilson go back out at quarterback. He played a little bit last week. His first series was the previous one. He's back out there again this series.
Yeah, Wilson's more the throwing quarterback. Clark is more the running quarterback, so it looks like they're going to go with Ian Wilson here throughout the rest of this game. Valparaiso's got to have some big breaks come their way in a hurry.
If you're Crown Point, you just pretty much rush 3, rush 4, and play coverage from here on out.
Yep, and I'm telling my defensive lineman, pin your ears back and take off.
2 receivers set to both sides. 5-man rush. Wilson over the middle of the field. It looked to be tipped. It was Cody Goodwin, the All-State wrestler. And I don't even think he was responsible for that, man. He still got a hand on it.
Well, it looked like where Wilson was throwing the ball, there was a crosser coming across the field, and the tight end had curled up about 5 or 6 yards beyond the crosser, and as the crosser was coming across field, the defensive man that was guarding the guy running across field knocked the pass down. So, I mean, Ian Wilson's got to wait for that guy to clear out and then make the throw.
2nd down and 10, 2:30 to go still here in the third. 6 in the box, 4-man rush. Off tackle run looked to be Berta, Thomas Berta, the sophomore.
No, that was number 21.
Been Jacob Clardy, who got a couple of carries in the first half, gets his first touch here in the second half, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 7.
A big play here for the Vikings. They've got to get something established here. To me, in this series, I thought on 1st down they should have ran the ball just to get some momentum, get a couple positive yards.
The 2 go-to guys have been Michichi and Bradney. Both have multiple catches today. Wilson, clean pocket, deep ball, far sideline, too far out of the reach of his man. Excellent job on the back end by the defensive back, Griffin Van Tyke. Second time we've seen him in coverage on 3rd and long, and Valpo forced to punt again.
Yeah, Van Tyke was out there. Great coverage, was well out in front of the wide receiver. Had his head turned, saw the ball all the way. Great job of coverage. Great technique out there by the defensive back. And only a freshman.
This is a really good Crown Point secondary.
Yes.
Gave up 2 big catches early on, but nothing outside of that. The snap is good this time. The punt super short. Might have been tipped.
Looked like it might have been.
And it'll take a Valpo roll. But Crown Point with great field position again. Right around their own 47. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. A touchdown here may very well put this game out of reach. Either way, if you're Valpo, I think you've got to sell out for the run.
Oh, definitely. You got to be shooting linebackers all over the place. If anything, you come up with a 5-man front and just start taking some shots at blitzes and go man coverage over the top.
This has been, for the most part, a one-dimensional Crown Point offense. But tonight, they've gotten it done through the air. J.J. Johnson does have a passing touchdown. They moved the ball through the air a couple of times on 2nd and 3rd and long, but the second half been all running attack. Good Gagno on 1st down. Doesn't get a whole lot. And the game clock close to a minute here in the third. Jared Schlinsky alongside Jay Simmons. If things hold on for Crown Point, they will improve to 6-0. As for Valpo, they will fall to 4-2. And both teams no easy tasks next week. LaPorte for Crown Point, Maryville for Valpo. Another deep shot. And it is hauled in and almost a touchdown. The first pass of the second half for Crown Point.
And there's a flag on the play. We'll have to see what the flag is.
Landon Delich again. Do we have pass interference? I don't know. Either way, I was shocked to see the pass there.
Well, and you know what the thing was? J.J. Johnson had all day to throw. He set his feet. Yep.
Well, that'll negate. It doesn't matter.
Half the distance to the goal. Be a 1-yard penalty.
So now Crown Point is at what? The half-yard line? The 2-yard line?
It looks like the 1. But J.J. Johnson had all day to throw, let his receivers get some separation, and just laid that ball out there perfectly to Landon Delich. Landon Delich was having a heck of a game tonight.
Johnson again. Did he get it?
Well, it looks like they gave him the touchdown because it looked like the ball had popped out right as he was crossing the goal line.
A touchdown for Crown Point. J.J. Johnson again does it with his legs. And with 48 ticks remaining here in the third, Crown Point is on top 33-7. The PAT could make it 34. But Valpo's homecoming doesn't look like it's going to go their way tonight.
No, it is not.
The kick is good, and it's 34-7. It's been all Valpo, been all Crown Point here in the second half. 20 unanswered, They lead 34-7. We'll take a timeout. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Hanger Insurance Group in Crown Point is passionate about providing a premier service insurance agency featuring customized coverage and meaningful relationships. They understand that you've built a life and they want to help you protect it. From home to life insurance, they offer a wide variety of coverage to fit your needs. From choosing a plan to filing claims, Hanger Insurance Group agents are ready to help. Stop in for a quote at 950 South Court Street in Crown Point or visit them online at hangerinsurancegroup.com. Protect what you love.
J.J. Johnson finds the end zone for the 5th time tonight. 4 on the ground, 1 through the air, and 20 unanswered points in the half, 27 unanswered points in the game. It's 34-7 Crown Point, and they are doing an excellent job of not taking their foot off the gas.
No, they are not, and you were sort of surprised that Crown Point came out and threw that long pass in that series. But, hey, you know what? The game isn't over until the final tick in the fourth quarter. So their Crown Point is going to play all out. The rest of this game, I'm sure they're going to leave their starters in until at least middle of this quarter.
High kick off the foot of Fiscal. Returned by Valpo. And the big boy with a pretty good return. That was Valparaiso's Logan Prusnik, who we have not seen return a whole lot this season, and he'll give the Vikings good field position with less than a minute to go here in the third. We've seen so many passes so far now in this second half with Ian Wilson down 27 points. You expect to see Valpo continue to throw the ball?
You know what the thing is right here, what you want to do is, you want to start working on stuff for the rest of the season as well.
Option pitch from Wilson to Berta. And Berta, with a good pickup on first down, gets close to midfield before being knocked down by Cody Goodwin. This defense, they're fast.
Yeah, and they're aggressive, and they fly to the ball. But the thing is, right here, if I'm Valparaiso, I'm working on stuff for next week and the week after that. I want to get my quarterback some game time experience, getting some passes down the field.
Let's see if they get one more playoff before the end of the quarter. Game clock is at 5. The play clock is at 10. They don't have to snap the ball. Man in motion. They do get the snap off. Wilson keeps, fights off a tackle, fights off another tackle, and into Crown Point territory. And that will end the third quarter. Valpo gives up 3 touchdowns on homecoming in the third. They are down 27 points, 34-7 our score, but Valpo has the ball when we return from this timeout. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
High school football fans, welcome back to Friday night, to pure spirits, to pure sports. Welcome back to high school football.
Fans, I'm IHSA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back!
This is Friday night. This is Indiana high school football. This is your IHSAA.
Hi, I'm Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
We are 1 quarter away from determining a winner of the County Seat Trophy. Crown Point lost the trophy last year on their home field, looking to regain it. They've got a comfortable lead, 34-7. Second down, option pitch. Wilson to Berta. Crown Point reads it to perfection, and it goes nowhere. Tackle made by Crown Point's Nico Pavlo, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and long as we begin the 4th. Jared Schlensky alongside Jay Simmons. A very competitive ball game early on, but Crown Point with 20 unanswered here in the 3rd. And, well, it looks like they're going to improve to 6-0
And don't forget, stay with the Region Sports after the game. We'll send it back to the Centier Bank Studio. The RSN crew will be on hand to recap all of tonight's action from around the region. That'll be Nathan Laird in charge of that ship. He's like Captain Kirk back at the station.
Second down run. Pretty strong pickup from Thomas Berta. And it's going to make it third down. We also have some awards to hand out.
Yes, we do. We've got the Crowell Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. They have offices open from 7 to 9 Monday through Friday and Saturday till 2. Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
Thank you, Jay. And again, I think two of these are relatively easy to pick, but nonetheless, we will make our selections. Play action, dropped. A good ball from Wilson, unable to be hung on to by the tight end, Keegan Begley. And it's going to bring up fourth down.
It looks like what the Vikings going to do. They're going to leave that offense out there and go for it.
I guess why not? You're down 27.
Yep.
10:33 to go. You probably have no choice.
Don't forget another award that we have is stay tuned with us after the game. We'll name the Proud Union Home Play of the Game presented by IKORCC.
Looked like Begley, the tight end, moved a little early.
And to continue that, IKORCC, the Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio Regional Council of Carpenters.
4th and 9 becomes 4th and 14. I think you still got to keep the offense on the field.
They're gonna. Looks like they're gonna leave them out there.
Valpo has had some success throwing the ball, especially early on. They've thrown the ball a lot here in the third, and now in the fourth. Let's see if they go back to it. 6-man rush. Wilson with all day. Throws to the far sideline, and it is caught, but it's going to be short of the sticks and a turnover on downs.
Yeah, well short of the first down.
And we'll take a look at some other games around the region, too. And it's our Strachan Van Til scoreboard. Your favorite Indiana-made grocery store with over 89 years of heritage. What do we have going across the region, Jay?
Yes, well, let's get through this as quick as we can. We got Andrean 21, Hobart 17. All these are in the third quarter. Lowell 24, KV 13, Maryville 34, LaPorte 3. Hanover doing what Hanover does, 55-0 all over Boone Grove. Calumet and Griffith. Calumet 13, Griffith 7.
Crown Point on first down may have gotten a little bit of a head start. Let's see, what other scores do we got?
Okay, well, let's continue on. Hammond Central 34, East Chicago 0. Michigan. I wrote that one down. We'll get back to that one. Let's see, we got Chesterton 34, Portage 7. Highland coming out of nowhere. Highland is up in the fourth quarter 12-7 over the Munster Mustangs. And, you know, we talked about this game on the Friday night or Thursday night preview show. This game is one of those games where you just throw the records out because it's such a big rivalry. And Highland proving us right, proving me wrong. Way to go, Trojans. And here we go, River Forest 36, Bishop Knoll nothing. Whiting 7, Wheeler Bearcats 0. All these in the late third quarter. Lake Station 22, South Central 14, and Indianapolis Cathedral fighting average 56, Morton Governors 0.
Thank you so much. Timeout taken by Crown Point. 1st and 10 following the turnover on downs by the Valpo offense. I'm curious to see how much longer the starters stay in. Roll out. Way too out in front of his go-to guy, Nicholas Soley.
Well,
and that is still J.J. Johnson in there.
Yeah, J.J. Johnson's still out there. But what happened on that play was the receiver got to the end of his route, and then just as he was about to throw it to the out route, the receiver bent it up and was running a wheel. So J.J. Johnson had to readjust and try and pull it back as he was on the run. and throw it down the field, and it just fluttered out of his hands.
Johnson on second down. Give goes up the middle, and not a whole lot of room for Gagno as the game clock rolls under 10 minutes. How much longer do you leave the starters in if you're Craig Buzia?
I'm thinking this is it. This is their series. Then after that, I'm pulling them out and putting in the second teamers / JV guys. You know what? You're up 34-7. You don't want anybody to get hurt, especially J.J. Johnson. If anything, all I'm doing is having him hand the ball off the rest of the game. He is not allowed to run.
3rd down and 9. Crown Point. Blitz is picked up pretty well. Fade ball to the far sideline is broken up. Crown Point brought pressure. Ray Santiago, the intended target, with the height advantage, but Tyler Morris able to break it up.
Yeah, Morris did a nice job recovering right there. Santiago went up, had the ball, was coming down, and then Morris was able to get underneath and knock that ball right out of his hands.
Crown Point to punt. And this one takes a Crown Point bounce before rolling out of bounds. And Valpo's offense back to the field with 9:05. Just tuning in, Crown Point in red and white. They lead 34-7. They have scored 27 unanswered, 20 unanswered here in the second half. And Valparaiso just looking to get on the scoreboard here in the second half.
Well, and I think what Valparaiso wants to do right here is get something positive to show when they go over to video session tomorrow, something positive in the second half. Because really they've been floundering all this whole half and just haven't been able to put anything together. Now, one score I did miss, Michigan City 31, Lake Central 21, and that's in the fourth quarter.
First down run goes past the 30. Thomas Berta, I don't think he came up with the football, but must have been down when it popped out. It's a yard or two on first down.
You look at both of these teams' schedules going out. Valparaiso next week on the road at Maryville. So they're playing the number 2 team in the RSN poll. And I'm sure Valparaiso is going to drop back a few spots this week in the RSN poll.
Snap taken nicely by Wilson. Gives to his running back, who picks up the first down. Jacob Clardy. Good pickup, moves the sticks.
Yep, so Valparaiso next week on the road at Maryville, then at home against Portage, and then on the road at Lake Central. Let's look at Crown Point. They're on the road to LaPorte, and then they've got a couple good games going into the end of the season. They've got Chesterton at home and then at Michigan City. So they've still got a couple more tough games to go before they get to the sectionals.
Long ways to go. Play action. Did it hit the ground? Was it caught? It was caught. Little low from Wilson.
Yeah, Wilson had to throw that one sidearm, a little Mahomes miss. Throwing it sidearm right there. It had the defensive man in his face. Just got a quick release. The ball sort of died on him, but the receiver was able to come up with the catch.
First catch by Julian Stokes today. And that brings up second down. I'm curious to see what head coach Bill Marshall does moving forward. Both quarterbacks have played and both have strengths and both have some weaknesses, but they both bring value.
Yes, they do. I think Wilson's a little bit better of a thrower, but right here he's showing some wheels.
And he picks up the first down with his legs, past midfield into Crown Point territory. And, well, trying to get more playing time looks pretty good right there with that run.
Yes, he did. And a nice job by the offensive line, sealing off to the outside so that way Wilson could get the first down. Clock moving, under 7 minutes left in the game.
Motion man. Clardy. Good burst on first down.
See, that's one of the things that I thought Valparaiso, once Crown Point scored that touchdown on that opening drive, that they sort of got out of what they're comfortable at doing, and it just sort of threw them off. You know, they tried throwing the ball that one series. They came out and threw it 5 times in a row, and that's just not Valparaiso-style football.
Regardless of the outcome, important here to get a good series, maybe a touchdown, have some confidence.
Yes,
going into next
definitely.
week.
I mean, you've got to get some positive things from tonight's game. You know, that first half was great.
Wilson over the middle, a little bit behind his tight end.
He's got to get rid of that ball quicker. That inside linebacker was able to get out there. If he's going to hold on to that ball that long, he's got to throw it to the outside. The outside receiver came open as long as he was holding that ball. But if he pops that guy right away, forgets to play action and just pops that ball right in there, that tight end in the inside seam route is wide open.
Keegan Begley not able to haul it in. He's been much more involved in the passing attack here in the second half. Just a 3-man rush for Crown Point. Wilson slings it to the far sideline. And there is Scotty Bradney again. A couple of catches in the first half. His first here in the second half goes for about 15.
Yeah, nice job. And a good job by Wilson right there, setting his feet, scanning the field, and this time he was able to relax and get it comfortable in the pocket and set his feet and make a nice throw.
Game clock rolls under 6 minutes. We're halfway through the fourth. Valparaiso has yet to score since the second quarter. 27 unanswered from the Crown Point Bulldogs. Can Valpo change that? Another 3-man rush. Wilson airs it out for the end zone, looking for Bradney, and deflected off the Crown Point defender and out of bounds.
Boy, Wilson tried to fit a tight window right there and just wasn't able to do it.
Great coverage again by Griffin Van Tike. He's had a really nice game, a couple of pass breakups. He can cover.
Yeah,
and a late flag. A really late flag, and got up there really high. Is this on the sideline? I don't know. I don't know what happened there.
Well, maybe one of the coaches was asking the official where they were going to have dinner after the game.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Valpo. I think you might be right. Yeah.
But I'm sure they weren't discussing dinner arrangements.
I think you're right again. This is going to pin them back 15, I think.
I'm sure the coaching staff of Valparaiso feeling a little frustrated right there. Thought there was a pass interference call that should have been made, but no such luck.
Bill Marshall is hot down there. Walking the tightrope on the sideline with the ref, too.
Yep. It's a little bit of a dance going on down there. You know, Coach Marshall's got to learn the fine line right there, or somebody on the staff. No, he's just making the call again, letting everybody know what happened.
So 2nd and 25. In other words, 2nd and forever.
Yes, it is.
Four-man rush this time. Outside. Complete to Bradney.
Bradney having himself a good evening here. That's about his 4th catch of the night.
Playing a soft zone right now. Looks like Crown Point's just trying to keep everything in front of them.
Yes, they are. They're going to let them throw all day underneath them. Throw those 10, 15-yard outs all night. They've got a ways to go to get to that first down.
So if Crown Point is the best team in the region, who's second best? Is it Maryville?
It could be Maryville. It could be, the winner of tonight's game, Andrean versus Hobart. Andrean up 21-17 late in the third quarter.
All day for Wilson. Sidearm slings complete. And a first down.
Nice job of Wilson right there. Once he got out of the pocket, never took his eyes off the receivers down the field, was looking the whole time to throw, and his receiver just did a nice job settling right in between the two linebackers.
Looked to be Julian Stokes again. Sets up 4th and 1, quarterback sneak. He definitely has it. with 5:23 to go. Valpo not going down without a fight. And the clock stops here following the reset of the chains. I think you've got to be pleased with Bill Marshall with the team's effort. And
Yes,
more
definitely.
importantly, the quarterback play from Wilson late in this game.
Well, you mentioned it earlier that the defensive backs are playing soft, but it is good development right here for Wilson, to use later in the season.
Wilson throws it. Wow. A tight window. Complete somehow.
Threaded the eye of the needle right there.
Cody Goodwin was draped all over
Yes, he was.
Darrell Davis. Haven't seen him at all really today. And Davis able to catch it. .457 and ticking. Valpo has not scored since the second quarter.
And don't forget, stay tuned with the Region Sports after the game as we send it back to the Centier Bank Studio. The RSN crew will be on hand to recap all of tonight's action from around the region.
Wilson to the end zone. Nearly intercepted and a
now
flag.
There's a flag.
Question is it on the offense or the defense? At one point, it looked like Crown Point had a better chance of catching it.
Yeah, well, we'll see what the official calls. It was tough to see all the way across the field. On the defense. Well, I just have to say, if it would have been on offense, we might have seen Coach Marshall explode on the sidelines.
I think you might be right about that. Will be half the distance and a new set of downs for the Valpo offense. First down. Oh, excuse me. They didn't even give him the first down. I thought they would have following the penalty. Run up the middle. That should be enough for the first down. And Jacob Clardy, a good push on first down, moves the chains.
And we got another scoring update, courtesy of Michael Bradner at the Andrean-Hobart game. Andrean 24, Hobart 17.
Timeout taken. This might be an injury timeout. Looks like somebody is down for Valpo. And we will take one with them. Valpo knocking on the door of possibly scoring again. Let's see what happens when we return. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso is a leader in athletics apparel and equipment sales. With in-house production including screen printing, trophies, embroidery, and more, Blythe's can help you to create the perfect look. For more information, visit them online at teamblythes.com. Blythe's Team Sports in Valparaiso, where the athletes shop.
Injured player attended to for Valpo looks to be okay. And we should be resuming fourth quarter action. What was a really fast first half has slowed down quite significantly.
You mean
here
it
in
dragged?
Yeah, literally. But either way, it's been a pretty good game up until the third quarter where Crown Point just pulled away. 20 unanswered points, and Valpo just has not been able to counter.
Yeah, J.J. Johnson took over. I want to draft this guy first round, first pick on my fantasy football team.
Yeah, he'd have a lot of points tonight, that's for sure. First and goal. Clardy goes nowhere. Stuffed.
Yeah, number 33 again.
Cody Goodwin. He's a player. Plays some linebacker, some safety, and now you see him running behind the line of scrimmage, pursuing the run.
He's having himself a heck of a game at the defensive linebacker position.
Been a lot of guys on this Crown Point team that have had a game and have had a season. There's a reason they're 5-0 on
That's
their way
right.
to 6-0. Game clock continues to roll. So does the play clock. Game clock under 4 minutes. Play clock down to 5. Wilson, play fake. In trouble, throws to the flat. Looks to be a little short.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to be third down, and it looks like on about the 1 yard line.
Looking for the tight end, Keegan Begley, and he got him.
Then here we go, up to the ball quickly.
Did he get it? Initially, it didn't look like it. Let's see if he did get that.
I'm going to say it looked like in the bottom of that scrum, I thought he had passed the goal line.
Yeah, I thought he got it on.
The officials give him the touchdown.
They do. Valpo gets on the board for the first time in the second half, their first touchdown since the second quarter, and it's 34-13. Nothing really too complicated there. Quarterback keeper.
And a nice job getting a good push right up front. Looks like Valparaiso's going to send out the extra point unit.
PAT.
And that's
no good, wide right. And this time it was Drayden Wilcox. Haven't seen him much today. We'll keep it here with 3:21, 34-13. Give credit to Valpo. They did not fold. They continued to fight, and just at the end of the day, going to come up a little short.
Yep, Valpo did a nice job. Ian Wilson did a nice job conducting that drive down the field, mixing up some pass and run. A nice job scrambling, and also Ian Wilson, when he did scramble, was able to keep his eyes down the field and find an open receiver on a critical third down play. And this is something that, it's good to have. You're down, right, and it stinks that you're losing, but it's also good work for his quarterback Ian Wilson to get some throws in, get him comfortable back there and get that offensive line to work on some pass protection as well.
Next week, Valpo will be on the road for the first time in 4 weeks. They have had 4 consecutive home games. They visit Maryville, and that should be another good game. As for Crown Point, they will be on the road against LaPorte. So both teams on the road, and I don't think Crown Point really cares where they play.
Nope, they're taking this show on the road. They like it.
They are 3 minutes and 21 seconds away from taking home the county seat trophy. And, Crown Point, they've had a couple of close games, but as of late, a couple of double-digit victories. This is a high kick hauled in inside the 1, and just a good slide there from, I think it was J.J. Johnson. I can't believe he's out there.
Yeah, what is he doing?
That's a surprise. Let's see if they get the second unit in now.
Oh, definitely.
.318 remains in this one. Jared Schlinsky alongside Jay Simmons. Special thanks to our producer, Nick Russ, and our cameraman, Milton Johnson. Our executive producer, Chris Ramirez. Our coordinating producer, Nathan Laird. Can't do it without you guys. And, of course, to you watching online at facebook.com/regionsports and at regionsports.com.
You can't do it without me here.
No, that is true. Simple first down run goes for none for Crown Point. And I know it's always tough when you're a backup and you get in this late in the game, but you try to make the most of it.
Yes, you do. And, it's always good to get out there, especially the younger guys. The younger guys get out there, have some fun, get used to being under the Friday night lights.
We've got a lot of awards to hand out, too. We'll give you a brief reminder of those after this play. Play clock down to under 10. The game clock at 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Snap and give goes to the running back and a good push. And in on the carry. Looked to be good Gagno, but the Crowell Company's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game. That is our first award.
Yes, it is.
They have offices in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City. They are open 9 to 7 Monday through Friday and Saturdays till 2. They are the insurance superheroes, and they are proud to recognize these superheroes on and off the football field. Who is tonight's Lantern Man Superhero of the Game?
Well, do you think it's anybody else but J.J. Johnson? 4 rushing touchdowns, 1 passing touchdowns, over 100 yards passing, over 75 yards rushing. Just a great night for J.J. Johnson. And congratulations on the Crowell Lantern Man superhero of the game.
Valpo uses a timeout following the stop. We'll keep it here, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 6, and that leads us to our Proud Union home play of the game presented by IKORCC, the Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio Regional Council of Carpenters. Build your future. Learn more at IKORCC.com. Training, professionalism, and partnerships for economic development. A lot of turning plays, but for me, one stands out.
Yeah, this one I thought was just a great catch. Helped Valparaiso bounce back in the second quarter, led to their score in the first half, and that was Justin Clark to Scotty Bradney. That was the first play of the second quarter, a 45-yard pass. Bradney just completely stretched out over the top of the defensive back, comes down with a great catch, leading to Valparaiso's score in the first half.
That was certainly a great catch and
Yes,
a momentum shifter, too. And last but not least, the blue-collar player of the game is brought to you by Boilermakers Local 374. Earn while you learn with Boilermakers Local 374. Learn more about apprenticeship programs and more at local374.org.
And that goes to Landon Delich with 4 catches, just 4 catches, 129 yards receiving, and somebody else other than J.J. Johnson to score a touchdown for the Bulldogs.
Excellent performance tonight by Delich. Of course, the long 59-yard touchdown near the end of the first half.
Yeah, that came with 2 minutes and 29 seconds, sort of opened it up for the Bulldogs.
Those are our awards tonight. What was a competitive first half?
Yes, it was.
Became
Very.
All Crown Point in the second half. 20 unanswered to begin the third. They lead 34-13. And let's see if they can cut into this deficit some more. Wilson trying to drop back and pass. Goes nowhere. Sacked on the play by Crown Point's Joshua Miller. Valpo continues to let the clock roll, only 70 seconds. You surprised they're not trying to get off a couple of extra plays?
No, at this point, why get somebody hurt? And it's sort of meaningless at this point. Just run a dive play and head to the locker room. Live the play next week.
Wilson picked off. And that should end it here. Interception from Wilson. Finds the hands of the defensive back on the far sideline. Can't make out a number, but either way, Crown Point's defense, they came to play tonight.
Yes, they did.
Give them credit. 7 points allowed in the first half, 6 points allowed in the second half. 38.5 ticks remain.
Yeah, they played a great job. And you know what the thing was, and this is what I talked about in our Subaru, our Castle Subaru Keys to the game, is that they had to force Valparaiso to pass the ball, and that's what happened. And Valparaiso just is not very effective in passing, and that just it reared its ugly head tonight.
Knee taken by Crown Point, and they should not have to snap the ball again.
No, they won't.
We'll take a quick timeout following the handshake at midfield, and then when we return, recap and preview both teams' next opponents here on Region Sports Network. The final one more time tonight. Crown Point on the road improves to 6-0. 4-0 in Duneland Conference play. They regain the county seat trophy with a 34-13 win over Valpo. Their 4-game winning streak comes to an end. They fall to 4-2. We'll be back shortly here on Region Sports. You're watching Game Night in the Region on the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Crowell Company's Lantern Man. I'll cover your motorcycle. I'll be with you on the water. I'll be with you on the snow. I'll cover your insurance needs wherever you go. I'll be at Crowell Agency from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. As Crowell Company's Lantern Man, I'm your insurance superhero.
Crowell Companies, the insurance professionals in Highland, Maryville, and Michigan City.
From schools to stadiums, hospitals, and bridges, everywhere you look, Union Carpenters are building Indiana. With jobs and skilled trades in high demand, there's never been a better time to start building your future. As an apprentice, you'll earn a debt-free college degree, earn while you learn, and receive great benefits like healthcare and retirement. So what are you waiting for? Visit carpenters.com to learn more. Visit carpenters.com and start building your future today.
Attention homeowners, ready to start your next project? Need to pay off your debt? Refinance your home? Unlock the value of your home with a Sentier Bank no-fee home equity loan or home equity line of credit. Stop by a local Sentier branch today or visit us on the web at sentier.com/home equity. Terms and conditions subject to change without notice, subject to credit approval. Sentier Bank, NMLS number 408076, equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Thinking about what to do after high school? Consider a career with Boilermakers Local 374. As a Boilermaker apprentice, you'll earn while you learn. We offer excellent wages and benefits, and as part of our no-cost hands-on apprenticeship program, you'll learn from the best in state-of-the-art training centers and on the job. Become a Union Boilermaker and get on your way to a great career. Find out more, visit www.local374.org or call 219-845-1000.
Crown Point jumps out to 6-0 to begin the season following tonight's 34-13 win. It was 14-7 at the half, and then Crown Point with 20 unanswered in the third. They never looked back and are 6-0 and remain the top team in the region. Valpo, they had come in winning 4 in a row. Their 4-game streak comes to an end. They fall at home to Crown Point, and the county seat trophy goes back to the Crown Point Bulldogs. This is a pretty good group over there in Crown Point, and I'm not so sure anybody can stop them right now.
Yeah, Coach Buzia's got them clicking on all cylinders. They are looking sharp. Coach Buzia, 10-5 in the last 2 years at Crown Point. Now 11-5. He's got this school, the town, everybody going for him. They converted from what they were doing in the past and now just changed it up a little bit. He's put in his program. He's got kids buying in, and they bought in big time this season. And now that they're 6-0, they're buying in even more.
One of those kids buying in is the quarterback, J.J. Johnson. 5 total touchdowns, 4 on the ground, 1 through the air. We've seen some pretty good quarterbacks this season. I'm not sure we've seen a better performance than tonight's from J.J. Johnson.
Yeah, he's outstanding. That's why he's Krause Lantern Man superhero of the game. Did a great job tonight. You know, when you throw it on a senior's back and he performs like that, unbelievable. Great job. Offensive line did a great job for him opening up the holes. Receivers did a great job catching some balls. I mean, you had Landon Dillich with 4 catches for 129 yards. Just a great performance throughout both sides of the ball by Crown Point. They're on a roll.
And if you're Valpo, no need to get down. I mean, obviously disappointed in losing, but you're still 4-2, and you got a tough opponent in Maryville, and you got to get back on track because losing 2 in a row, you don't want to do that. That's for certain.
No, you don't. Especially when you're coming down to when it's time for the playoffs. You want to build momentum, not lose momentum. So Valparaiso's got to get the wheels back on the track. They've definitely got to work on being more diverse offensively, getting that ball down the field, passing-wise, in which they did a little bit with Ian Wilson in that last drive, but they've got to really focus on that for the rest of the season and into the playoffs.
Well, Jay, as always, a pleasure broadcasting with you. Just a reminder before we close out, this broadcast is a production of the Region Sports Network. Any other use, duplication, reproduction, or retransmission of the accounts and descriptions of this contest without the express written consent of the Region Sports Network is strictly prohibited. Special thanks to our executive producer, Chris Ramirez and Nathan Laird. The man to my right, Jay Simmons. The man to my left, Nick Russ. Milton Johnson on the camera. along with Stacey Adams, AD here at Valpo, assistant AD Herb Hofer, head coach Craig Buzia for Crown Point, and Bill Marshall, head coach at Valpo. And, of course, you watching along at facebook.com/Region Sports and on regionsports.com. Final tonight, one more time, 34-13 Crown Point, now 6-0. Valpo falls to 4-2. We'll see you next week here on Region Sports, the only game in town.